Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Well, hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I was just putting in my, I have a big E on that. Glow, happy anniversary, 44 years. I just saw that. That is exciting. Good for you. Happy anniversary. What's going on, everybody?
My condolences.
It's wow.
I say that to everyone.
Why would you say that?
I have a compactor getting delivered.
I'm sorry. That has something to do with you just being snarky?
No.
Oh, okay.
Has something to do with you making it easier for you tomorrow.
Oh, because I'm coming over to do work at your house. That's right.
You offered.
Joe's on call. The kids are getting ready for their summer jobs. They leave tomorrow or Sunday, rather. So, yes, I have time. And I said I would help. I mean, there's probably some plant there I could kill as...
No, they're all dead. I dug them all up, including my rose bush.
As revenge. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple people first right out of the gate.
Yes.
We've got a totally stacked show today with sponsors, which is a beautiful thing. And I would not jam in sponsors for the sake of making money. I would jam sponsors in because I think their products are really good or very interesting to a bunch of you. One of my favorites, and I'm going to stick by it, is tulip blooms. You have a little over a week before Father's Day. Dads enjoy having beautiful skin.
And they enjoy putting it on women.
The same way we enjoy having it put on, right? The massage oil. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Their products are absolutely magnificent. I love the essential oil, massaging oils. You don't have to use them as massaging oils, but they do moisturize the roughest parts of your body. It is so nice. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. That's 10% off you're going to get. And they're always working on new products to produce for you. And so I very much enjoyed my partnership with them. Also want to remind you before we get rolling, this picture I just saw of Kelly Morgan and her More Gains Fitness Ignite 90 program result of a woman who had quite a bit of belly fat and below the belt belly fat. You know how it just distends. Her ability in 90 days to reduce that fat, it looks by like 50%. Is astonishing. 90 Ignite. Go to moregainsfitness.com and it's Z, More Gains with the Z, fitness.com. She's got a merch sale going on. Her clothing is fantastic. But the whole 90 Ignite program where you get the help you need from the comfort of your home, no matter where you live, online through her and her videos. Changes your world in 3 months. moregainsfitness.com. So thank you. I want to thank you guys. We were, I think, 8 on the leaderboard yesterday. You know, nobody's knocking it out of the park with views right now. It's going into the beginning of summertime and this happens. I'm not going to sit here and browbeat you. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. If you're inclined when you're here to give us that vote with the thumbs up, I appreciate that. But if you don't, you don't. Okay.
You're still welcome.
I love you being here no matter how I get you. And so thank you. Oh, look at you, MAGA girl.
And just
Blood
so
Flow
everybody
7 is changing my life, she said. Talk to me. Go in the comments section, MAGA girl. Tell me more and I'll read it in the next break. Go ahead.
I will not be serving Wendy fake beer tomorrow. I already stocked up on her favorite.
Oh.
Which happens to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good old standard beer. Okay, also should say, Brock, you can be included in this.
Ooh.
At about the halfway mark, things are going to get a little weird. And we're going to have this crew from Texas Bullion Exchange. They have this production company, a guy named Garrett, who seems very nice. But he's going to come in and he's going to be getting some video that they're going to be putting. I know, look at my flipping hair. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Did you use your volumizer?
I did not because it was here, but I've got to tell you, it's
big.
It's big.
It is big.
It is big. I mean, don't you just want to put your hands in it?
I thought about your hair this morning.
Did you?
When I walked outside, I'm like, ooh, it's kind of like muggy. I'm like, this isn't going to end well for the hair today.
So we're going to shoot here from like 1:30 to 3 and then at my house for like 2 hours. So it's just going to be, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, but I'm excited that you guys get to see it behind the scenes, as exciting or dumb as it is. We'll see. We'll do it together. How about that?
Oh,
I think they think
okay, what does P1 mean? I think I am one.
Well,
Clover patch. It's a radio term for consistent listeners that show up all the time, that listen no matter what.
They used to say in television that the most consistent watchers were only there one day a week. Which is nuts. And how many of you are here 5, 6, even 7 sometimes?
Yeah, no pet show tomorrow.
A week. But I think we should do weekends with Wendy.
We can do that.
I think we could do that. How about it, guys? You good
Unless
for that?
Unless the yard's not done.
Give me your thoughts if you're going to be around or you're interested. Give us in the comments.
Wendy might be busy Sunday morning.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Happy Friday to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. And welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. My name is Wendy, and I'm a mom, and I'm a conservative woman, and I tell you the truth, and I love this country, and I hate people who try to hurt us. And I hate things that go against our traditional values. And we've got a lot of that in the news today, my friends. It looks like this peace deal with Iran is imminent. Let's hope so, because I think I speak for the majority of America when I say I'm so tired of we're almost there. It's almost here. It's right around the corner. Well, this might be it, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. WendyBellRadio.com. We do something unusual, I think. We invite you not just to listen, but to join in, to watch the live video stream, to become a member of our army, and to join us in the chat, and we communicate with you during commercial breaks. And if you like that, I hope you join us, WendyBellRadio.com. Welcome home, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, I was thinking about all of the things that seem to be important to today's Democratic Party, and none of it sticks with Democrats. None of it is sticking with independents. It's not being bought by conservative Republicans because it's contrary to what we know is good. What we know is good for us personally, whether it be our health, our financial well-being, our futures, our feelings about security and safety. It's never good for our children. They're pawns in so many of the grifts that the Democrat Party, I think, by and large, has foisted upon us for far too long. It's not good for the future of this country. You know, we've got a president who is literally jumping out of his skin for the 4th of July. And he's invited the entire world to this beautiful block party to celebrate the most magnificent thing, this concept that you and I live out every day. And we play our part in this glorious constitutional republic. We are so fledgling as a country comparative to the rest of the world. And yet the eyes of the world are here on these United States. This president wants to clean up the mess, but he doesn't want to hide it. He doesn't want to get the garbage and stuff it underneath the couch. He wants a full-fledged removal of all of the dead weight. He wants the people in this country who need some help, to get help for a while, and then go out and do that magnanimous thing, which is to succeed based on your sheer grit, determination, and stones. That is what this president wants. This president wants peace, not just so you can get up and walk down the street and not worry about somebody jumping out and attacking you, but world peace, real peace, where every country, all 197 of us, where every single country gets to live to its destiny, where people can dream, where food is abundant and water is clean and there is laughter. Now, does that sound naive? Because that's what Make America Great Again is. Think about the brands that the Democratic Party gets behind. Things that are woefully ineffective and wrought with fraud. You mean to tell me that diversity, equity, and inclusion had anything other than what? To do with minorities, manipulating minorities, using people as victims to then grift off of them? Promote people who don't have perhaps the skills for the positions they're plucked into? And then what happens to us? People are grumpy. Things don't work anymore. Prices go up. Quality goes down. Expectations bottom out. And all of a sudden, you're not a country of excellence. You are one that accepts mediocrity. In fact, Democrats, they don't want you to be excellent. They don't want you to show your work. They don't want you to dream. They don't want you to create. They don't want you to be happy and free, because when you are, you don't need them. Who do they support? Do you support these people? James Tallarico in Texas, who thinks God is non-binary and there's 6 different genders? Are you kidding me? The guy who says the number one thing that tugs at his heartstrings, the guy running for Senate in Texas, the guy said he cares most about transgender children. Really? This is the party that glorified George Floyd, that idolizes Luigi Mangione, who in cold blood stalked a rich guy he blamed for the problems of healthcare and shot him point blank on a street. And they glorify these people. Carmelo Anthony. Really? These are your heroes? These people represent your mission? You had nothing better than that? Remember when the Democratic Party used to be about the steel-toed boots, the hardworking men and women on assembly lines in America's heartland, our teachers and nurses, the people who are the lifeblood of American economy and functionality? What are they now? Democrats are now a party of radical wackos, and there's no bottom that's too low for them to hit. Believe all women flew right out the window when their candidate for senator in Maine had a kind of storied past, roughing up perhaps women, or saying things about rape that nobody in their right mind would get behind. Democrats do. Zoran Mamdani, what did he offer the people of New York? Higher taxes, a bunch of free stuff that's not going to happen, right? And then look at California. Did you hear about the $2.5 billion fire fund, the fire victims fund that thousands of homeowners could woefully use and got none of it? Instead, it went to go to pay for police during riots. Are you kidding me? This is as good as it gets. And you've got a mayoral candidate there in Karen Bass, the incumbent, who says, yeah, we didn't do a whole lot yet, but now I kind of get it. I think I just need 4 more years. And they want you to believe that Angelenos are so dumb and so disenfranchised that they fell for it. I don't just speak for conservatives. I don't just speak for moms. I speak for anybody with a modicum of common sense. You've got to do better. You must do better because your brand of governance is toxic. Nothing you touch gets better. Fraud is not just permitted, it is facilitated at the highest offices. And now we've got the allegations of what? The UFO files are coming out. They're not coming out, ladies and gentlemen, any more than you're ever going to know a damn thing really about Jeffrey Epstein. There is a very deep, dark cabal, a bunch of people who do the most despicable things, who have enriched themselves and have wielded that money as influence in perhaps the most elaborate blackmail and bribery apparatus the world has ever seen. They've been stealing elections, not just here in our country, but all over the world. They fiddle with science and come up with miraculous cures that make us sicker. They inject things into our food so we become dependent on pharmaceuticals. They tell us our children are slow or troubled or need just this shot or these pills. Truly, everything will be just fine. Remain calm. All is well. And then every now and again, somebody comes around and says, "You're not falling for this, are you? Are you tired of it? Because I am. And what do you have to lose?" That is the story of America. That is what we fight for on this program every day. And if you want to come along with us for the ride, hell yeah. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, apparently President Trump, with 3 hours to go before those fighter jets and the bombs were ready to go in Iran, the president calls it back and says, "You know what? I believe we have a deal, ladies and gentlemen." We'll talk about what we know and what we don't next on the Wendy Bell radio program. All right, so
I just texted you.
Oh, is it going to hurt my feelings?
Probably.
Okay. Oops. Let's see. Beautiful. That'll be perfect for this. I do appreciate that. All right. Yeah. You know, I have seen people in the course of just being in public. It's usually at places like Kennywood Park, our cute little amusement park here in Pittsburgh, or the zoo, or Disney World, or even an airport where people are on their feet and you can see that their legs are swollen. And if their socks move, you can see there's that mark there, right? Do you ever feel like your legs are heavy? Like it's like you're dragging these things around. There could be a problem with your lymph system. And so when I got this sponsor, and they were like, "You know what? I really think some of your people would appreciate the products that we have." It's called purehealthresearch.com. That is what this is. It is called Lymph System Support from Pure Health Research. In these capsules is a powerful formula containing 8 science-backed ingredients, including bromelain from pineapple, dandelion extract, burdock root, and rutin, which is designed to support healthy lymphatic flow and help reduce uncomfortable fluid retention. That's what it is. Getting rid of that fluid, getting rid of the swell, getting rid of the feeling that you're lumbering around with really heavy legs. Most people notice their legs feel lighter, there's less swelling, and they even look more toned and slender. And right now, you can try this. Lymph System Support, totally risk-free. It's a 365-day money-back guarantee. And if you order now, again, purehealthresearch.com, my name, Wendy, is the promo code. You're going to get 35% off and a free bottle of curcumin extract while supplies last. Purehealthresearch.com, promo code Wendy. This might not apply to many of you, but it may apply to you. And for that, I think it's worth talking about. Anything that we can try that doesn't involve the prescription pad and Tony Fauci, I'm in, right? So we'll see what goes on with this peace deal. Brock just sent me, while I was talking in the monologue, some update from Fox. And I think it is the administration releasing the details of what this, I guess they're calling it what, Brock, a memorandum of understanding.
Yes. Anyone who wants to donate to Brock's SpaceX fund.
Ah, yes. I haven't really paid attention to that, but I know I'm the minority of the crowd here, probably. I have to say, and I'll talk about it after the next break, calm mood is the bomb. It just... of this offensive with Iran. This is the end of the campaign. Of course, fingers crossed, one has to believe not only if the people representing Iran sign on the dotted line, that they can actually be counted on to follow through on their promises. So this is what the Trump administration is saying this Iran deal is all about. These are the terms that are being reported right now. Number one, all nuclear material in the country will be destroyed and it will be removed. Number two, Iran's nuclear program will be completely dismantled. Number three, no funds will be released until Iran carries out those terms of the deal. There's going to be no sanctions relief. They're not going to be able to sell their oil. They're not going to have access to it. You've got to do number one and number two before you get to 3, 4, and 5. Number four, the Hormuz Strait will open. And number 5, Iran cannot fund terrorist groups. Now, President Trump said the terms Iran leaked out were fake news. I know. Imagine that. Wow. Well, I want to get you a little bit more of this story. And I like that Tehran thought they could play chicken with the president. And he's like, look, we were 3 hours away from bombs away. And they called and they were desperate. And so we did the responsible thing. You know what's interesting about Trump? The first offensive and the second offensives against this country. I mean, I know they've been ongoing, but the ones that really did a number to the nuclear stuff and then took out all of the drones and then the majority of the missiles, et cetera, et cetera. President Trump could have destroyed that Karg Island. He could have blown them into the middle of next week on the first pass, but he didn't. That's not a dictator, right? A dictator would do that. A king would just destroy you and not give a rat's rear end about what happens to you and your people. They'd walk away and be like, okay, good luck with that. But see, Trump sees us as the nucleus of this molecule, right? And everybody's got a moving part inside its membrane. Destroying Iran's ability to process, sell oil, or to in any way, shape, or form feed its people and take care of its people. If he did that, that's king-like. He sees a much bigger picture. He plays cards at the right times. So he called off these strikes, and the plan, of course, was to storm Iran's Karg Island. This was going to do it. This was going to do it all. This is going to set them back decades. And he told the New York Post, that an agreement between Washington and Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and begin nuclear negotiations was all wrapped up. In fact, we have a little bit of sound from him yesterday in the Oval Office. And there's a reporter, I think she's a foreign reporter, and she's asking him, and he very clearly and very calmly drops literally, this is huge news. Taking out the biggest boogeyman on the planet, the threat of a nuclear Iran in under 6 months? I mean, that's just amazing. Listen to the matter-of-fact way he responds to this reporter.
Why are you so convinced that this time is different?
Because they've taken a pounding.
they've taken a pounding like very few people could take, and they want to make the deal a lot more than I do. And we could have had it done the other way, I guess, but it would have taken longer. They got hit very hard recently, as you know, and I don't like to have to do things that way, but I felt it was necessary. It's a great deal for the United States and for the Middle East, and I think ultimately great for Iran because they'll be able to build up their country and their country. I really believe it's a regime change because I find these people to be much more rational than the people that are no longer with us. We knocked out the first team of leadership, the second team of leadership. This is a different group. This is a different level, and I think it's frankly a smarter level, and it's a level that has reason. And they've all approved the deal. Everybody's approved the deal. Now we'll get it finished up, and hopefully that'll be done. We will not have Iran having a nuclear weapon, which is very important to these people behind me. We can talk about fishing. There won't be anybody to fish. The fish will still be around, I guess. They're probably going to be affected, too. We're not going to let it happen. So Iran will essentially, most important paragraph to me, Iran will in no way, shape, or form have a nuclear weapon or purchase a nuclear weapon.
So prior to that question, there had been an Asian reporter who had asked him about the deal. When do you think? And he's like, it's pretty much done. And she said, well, what about the nuclear stuff? And he's like, they've agreed to that. And she's like, what about the strait? And he's like, that will open and gas will come down. And she said, what about sanctions? And he said, well, if they follow by the plan, and that's what they do, we'll stop with the sanctions and allow their economy to start again. It was like boom, 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 very calm. You could hear a pin drop. This is such a huge day. And you will not get that huge day coverage on the news tonight. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? They need something. They need anything to go after President Trump, to run against him. They need inflation to peak. They need gas prices to hit $10. They need some kind of a global catastrophe. They need an emergency stat because this will be 9 wars now. 9. What are you going to run on? And if, let's just say, the young men of the world with these new jobs that are opening up and the consumer prices hopefully coming down, what are they going to do? Run on their own record of destruction, of DEI, BLM, protests, nonsense, and victims? This is a terrible day for the Democrats. This is a glorious day for the planet. And I guarantee you, no one will tell you that. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it's impossible at this point not to be suspicious of every single thing California does. Okay? Let's just put that on the table. I'll explain next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I mean, it's not going to be sold that way at all. Nobody's going to be like, this is truly incredible. And then you know what's going to happen? The United States is going to help the Middle Eastern neighbors help Iran rebuild. And they'll use money from the proceeds of Iranian oil, right? But we're not going to install our own people. We're not going to tell them what to do. And then what do you think is going to happen with Cuba? Well, what do you think is going to happen with Maduro? What do you think is going to happen when it becomes widely known that 2020 was the biggest joke and the biggest fraud in American electoral history? I don't know. I want to tell you about, I mean, honestly, I know it. I look fuzzy and it's just, I have really big hair. Okay. So if you don't have super duper curly hair like I do, I Googled it. I'm like, how many people have like ringlet curl hair? It's a very small number. It's like 5% of the population. Most people look at me and they're like, I wish I had an ounce of that. Well, that's kind of what this is all about. If you've got that lifeless hair and you're desperate to put a curl in it or to zhuzh it up or give it some kind of something, and it never works, this just might be something for you. Okay. I love this. I got the wrong thing here. It's called Purance, purance.com. And with my name, you're going to get 35% off of this. What is it? Well, it's a new kind of shampoo that is that on steroids. So just like our muscles lose protein, your hair loses protein. I didn't know that. And that can make your hair thin and dry and brittle and lifeless. So Hydrolift Volumizing Shampoo by Purance is billed to help that. Hydrolift contains wheat protein that strengthens your hair follicles from deep within. That transforms thin and lifeless hair into fuller, more resilient locks. It also contains betaine. It's like betaine. That's how you're supposed to say it. I don't know, but it's from sugar beets, which draws water into your strands, making your hair feel silky soft. I can tell you it's a fact. And I said it yesterday, and I'll tell you again. When I was rinsing it out and like putting my hair into a ponytail, it literally was squeaky. That's how clean. It's like it took off whatever gunk was on there, and then all of a sudden your hair comes back to life. So right now you can try Hydrolift Volumizing Shampoo risk-free. Save 35% with Wendy, the discount code. Head to purance.com to shop and save. And by the way, Purance has many other fantastic products if you're looking to rejuvenate your skin, hair, or nail appearance. They're all USDA certified organic, so they're great for your body and the environment. All right, 35% off, promo code Wendy, Purance, Pureance.com.
We can go in the description below and click on the link.
Well, then there's that. I'm literally taking it home. Here's how I know I like a product. I was annoyed today that I left it here because I wanted to show you for show and tell. So I'm going to get in touch with them and be like, you need to send me another bottle. I need to have one at home and one here. I don't want to have to go back and forth with it, but I like it and I will. It's going to be like Troy Polamalu in that Head and Shoulders commercial. Did you use my Head and Shoulders? No. Did you? No.
So you guys there will be a Sunday show.
Okay. Awesome. That gives me reason to get up and get moving. I'm going to see if we got that testimonial from the young lady about
I
blood
did
flow.
not see it.
No.
I'll need it tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't see it. Talking about Blood Flow 7. I will say that that's another one of those things I'm not going to go without ever again. It's just going to be part of my daily routine. Do you know that I don't take, and I have not taken for 20 years, a prescription drug of any kind? Like I'm not on any prescriptions. I don't take a daily whatever. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy totally changed my world. It's more stamina. It's more determination. It's longer walks. It's more cardiovascular. It's heavier weights. It's doing things around the house that normally tucker you out. It's carrying the laundry basket up the steps. All of a sudden, you're not like, it's wild, but it's science. It's nitric oxide. And that's something that's beautiful because it opens up your blood vessels. So you get increased blood flow. What happens to people when they're having problems with blood flow? They're like tightness. They can't walk. They can't breathe. And then when somebody like Joe puts in a stent and the blood starts flowing, they're like, oh, dear Lord, it's so much better, like instantaneously. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. 30% off everything that they have. I love that company. It's the Mac daddy of companies. Love them. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. They were actually going to use a couple of my reads, and they asked me permission yesterday and asked my price. $4 million. And they're going to use those on television.
Musk.
Yes. Is he calling me?
No. He called and said, why didn't you buy any? No, he says Fox is reporting Musk solidify status as the world's first trillionaire with the IPO. If I had 10 grand to throw around, I'd have bought.
You know, I don't think his mission is about making more money.
No.
Which is nice.
Well, since we just talked about the hair, why not?
You know, it is impossible to, at this point, not be completely suspicious of everything you see and hear coming out of California. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I am from California. I love California. If you've never been, I wouldn't go anytime soon, but soon enough, California hopefully will get its crap together and change will happen, or else it will become Gotham City. And it's already looking like that. I mean, think about a state with such magnificent everything. You can go skiing, you can go surfing, you can go poke around the desert, you can roast yourself at any of these deserts, Death Valley, go and feel the sunshine, look at the sky, and they've destroyed it. Totally destroyed it. Removing guardrails, spending money like nobody's business, always claiming we need more. The problem's bigger than we thought. No, the problem is the leaders chosen to fix the problems. Problems exist. See, we elect people to fix the problems, not to create problems to then grift off of, siphon money away from, lie about, and then get reelected to do more. Tell me how that makes sense. So a guy I follow on X put this up. His name's Donnie Cope. Hi, Donnie. If you're listening, I know you follow us. Breaking news, tens of thousands of Spencer Pratt voters are now receiving rejection letters from the county clerk saying that their ballots were not counted due to signature irregularities. Really? Really? Because, you know, in California, if you can't sign your name, like for some reason you are incapable of signing your name, which we learned to do when we're tiny, you can just make an X. Just X it. That's sufficient. How about a smiley face? Yeah, you can use that. Squiggle. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to tell a bunch of people if Donnie Cope is true, right? If what he's telling us is true. You've got thousands of Spencer Pratt voters who are like, yeah, about your ballots. There's some problems with your signature. Like you actually gave us one, which indicates to us that you're a Republican. We're going to yank that. Do I know? I don't have evidence. No, not at scale. I don't, but I do have common sense, right? So the post continues. Yet Governor Gavin Newsom just passed legislation that would make it illegal for anyone conducting oversight to contest signatures that they deemed fraudulent. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? We will not allow anybody to review our results. That sounds super fantastically democratic. And it's passed. In what world? In the same world where you would balk at sharing with the federal government, which you're required to do by law, your voter rolls. I'm not going to do it. But it's not because we're hiding anything. Like those are just right-wing MAGA conspiracy theories. Right? It's so preposterous. Like, how does a Democrat in the state of California look at themselves in the mirror and be like, I am such a good person? Democrats allow ballots to be signed with an X or a dash or a smiley face to pass and count. But now all of a sudden, only Republican signatures are being flagged for irregularities, are being rejected and not counted. I don't know if that's true. Would you be surprised? No, of course not. One of these California Republican voters said that his signature has been on file for over 20 years and that there's never been an issue until he voted for Spencer Pratt. Nithya Raman has beaten Spencer Pratt by less than 3,000 votes. And there are at least, according to this post, 18,000 Pratt voters who received this letter saying their votes were rejected. Now, whether or not you have evidence of this, it's just one more drip in your bucket of suspicion, right? Why do they never do anything that erases our concerns? Why do they never do anything well that would make us feel confident in the results? They create the system. We call it out that we're the bad guys for being suspicious. Got it. You know, if this is odd to you, it kind of is to me. Let's just talk about the Democrat way of doing things in California. Hide voter rolls, right? make asking for proof of ID illegal. You're not allowed to do that on election day. You're a poll worker. Can I see your ID? I'm sorry, you just broke the law. Really? Then send out mass mail-in ballots to everybody, whether they requested them or not, because you know what? Everybody deserves to have a vote. Register the homeless, ban unauthorized write-ins, harvest ballots, allow squiggles and smiley faces to suffice as valid ballot signatures, permit handwritten postmarks, conduct weeks of performative counting, reject valid signatures, make auditing the election results illegal, and poof, congratulations. You won! And nobody's allowed to question you. Nobody. Oh, that's just what they do over there on the right. Damn conspiracy theorists, MAGA freaks, right? So here's the headline from the San Francisco Chronicle this morning. They're not voting, they're not counting votes right now at the registrar's office. They're putting out a counteroffensive to these stories. Whether it be there was a ballot dump and Spencer Pratt got no votes, or these ballots that Republicans got are being bounced from being counted. The Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder's Office has taken to fact-checking misinformation and false claims being made about its ballot counting in real time. Why? If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Huh. It makes me a little bit even more suspicious. And then you've got Javier, whatever the hell, Becerra. He says he knows how to fix the broken system. It's not talk about the stupid rules. It's not uncover the jazz that everybody distrusts. It's to blame voters. You ready? Here you go.
If we all voted a lot earlier, so that we don't end up having that big backlog at the end, it probably would help every county process the votes faster.
Okay, he's apparently not plugged into the grift. You've got to wait to see what the results are, sweetness. And then you've got to get that backlog, everybody voting for the same person so you get your desired outcome. I mean, sure, he knows that, right? Steve Hilton punches back with an ad that suggests he's kind of upping his game against Becerra in California's governor's race. This is the kind of messaging the Democrats could never deliver. This is great.
If you look at how much each of us spent to get the votes that we got, here are the numbers. Steve Hilton, $2.11 per vote. Javier Becerra, $8.42 per vote. Matt Mahan, $140 per vote. Tom Steyer, of course, $142 per vote. That means I am 4 times more efficient than Javier Becerra. That is a lesson for how I'm going to spend taxpayer money too. I actually understand that it's your money, in this case, our donors' money, and we've got to be careful with it, and we've got to get good results with it. It's a really important message for what we're going to do when we're in government. And there's another thing I just want to point out. Becerra benefited, as the Wall Street Journal points out today, from what they call dark money. Mr. Becerra's business backers, including such targets of Mr. Steyer and his supporters as Chevron, McDonald's, Meta, Airbnb, and Uber. There you go. The corporate stooge, if you want to use Democrat language, in this election is the Democrat, Javier Becerra. We built a campaign, on the other hand, that was funded by small dollar donors in every county in California. From nothing, we went to over 80,000 individual donors. The average donation around $70. So if you want to know who's on the side of the people, it's me. If you want to know who's on the side of the big unions and the big businesses and all the dark money, it's Javier Becerra. And if you want to know who's completely useless at getting good value for money from their campaigns, well, it's all of the Democrats, because we were the most efficient campaign in this election.
Super effective. Now, what kind of ads are the Democrats going to run? It's all about Trump. Trump sucks. Then there's Trump. Is that going to really move anybody? Is that going to help? Meantime, HUD Secretary Scott Turner, did you hear about this? Freezing hundreds of millions of federal dollars from LA's Homeless Services Authority. LASA is what they call it, for wasting $1 billion in taxpayer money since 2021. Wait, what? In 5 years, this Los Angeles' Homeless Services Authority wasted $1 billion of our dollars and didn't get anybody really in a house? Homelessness in Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, has increased 100% since 2013. Who's been in charge? Free housing for the homeless in Los Angeles has skyrocketed during that period, 212%. HUD funding per homeless person in Los Angeles has increased 39%. Where's the money going? Where did the fire survivors fund? Where did those $2.5 billion go? Well, in the hands of Democrats, not to the people they campaign on behalf of. Here's a Fox report on the crackdown on the Democrats' homelessness grift and ballot harvesting. This in and of itself is so damning.
This is a huge blow to this L.A. homeless authority. It's called LAHSA. They just were informed within the last hour that they are losing these tens of millions of dollars. They've gotten almost over $1 billion since 2021 in federal taxpayer funding. Now they're going to lose it as this investigation goes underway. This is from the White House Fraud Task Force in coordination with Housing and Urban Development. This is a 13-page letter that we obtained exclusively sent to this agency. According to the letter, LAHSA's received, as I said, $1 billion from HUD since 2021. The letter goes on quickly to point out that L.A. County has withdrawn funding for the agency. The city of L.A. is considering the same. The letter continues. HUD has evidence that LAHSA's repeated false statements and its irresponsible actions and failures, including its lack of financial management, internal controls, and safeguards against conflicts of interest, pose a threat to HUD, the public, and those living on the streets of L.A. Now, homelessness is a real problem in L.A. and other parts of California. It became a central focus of Republican mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt's campaign, though he ultimately was defeated at the polls. According to the numbers, $953 million was allocated in fiscal year 25-26 by the agency. Approximately 44,000 unhoused homeless people, approximately $22,000 per homeless person spent.
And what have they gotten? They've gotten a homeless problem that has gotten worse. Because it is supposed to. They need people on the street, addicted to drugs, in order to be the firefighter arsonist that comes in and saves the day. The bad news, you pay for it. Well, is California done with that, do you think? When we come back, he could be the Democrats' worst enemy or their most unexpected weapon in 2028. Wait until you hear who it is. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. But I could see it. I mean, literally, the whole title of today's show is disqualifying. Aren't there certain things that disqualify you from a position? I'm going to go with a Nazi tattoo. That might be disqualifying. How about roofing women and raping them in your hotel room? I'm going to say that's disqualifying, right? How about stealing an election? Disqualifying.
Sometimes the only way to keep someone quiet.
As to what?
Give them a reason to stay quiet.
You know, WendyLovesGold.com, 855-927-5557. It sounds like it's a dippy thing that you would put into your phone or you would put on the toolbar of your computer. But if you do, WendyLovesGold.com, and you hit return, it's going to take you to our landing page. And this is just for us. This is just for you, that phone number, that site. And this is where you can get up to 6% in free silver from my friends at Texas Bullion Exchange. These are the folks who I've bought gold and silver from a few times. These are the people who offer you gold-backed IRAs. These are the people you go to when you're like, you know what, I've got a lot of money in the stock market, but I don't have a whole lot of diversity. So if that thing goes belly up, I'd be screwed. 855-927-5557. They're fantastic. Bookmark it. Just hit bookmark. So when you're ready to talk to them, and there's going to be a time that you're going to want to talk to them. Some of you are sitting on cash and savings accounts right now that's doing a whole lot of nothing for you. Why? Why? You know, since we left the gold standard in 1970, the value of the dollar has gone down 90%, but the value of gold has gone up 7,000%. Which do you think is a better option? I'm going to go with the metals. And you don't have to know anything because they teach you, and they're great. I love them. WendyLovesGold.com. They're going to be here soon. 855-927-5557. All right. So I read one of the jokes for Bad Joke Friday. And I could see where it was going, but it was really so poorly punctuated and written. It wasn't going to make sense. And so I had to scrap it. It was just like, I wasn't going to be able to stick the landing, and I don't need help messing up a joke. So if your story was about Jack and David, who were both patients at a mental hospital, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be reading that today. You might need to do a little, I don't know,
grammar lesson.
I mean, if I read it to you as it's written, you'd all be like, what, is Jasmine Crockett talking to me? What's going on here? Wow.
I just copy and paste.
I'm keenly aware of that fact. Thank you.
What?
I don't even know if I'd be able to rewrite it in an intelligible way. So, and I know that you guys take time to send those to us. I didn't want you to think I didn't care. As for the gentleman who wanted to know about the tracking of his 3 Second Amendment gifts, I have not looked into that yet. I will, though. I will.
That's what we're looking into this weekend.
Are you,
while you're shoveling and raking?
Are you guys getting the vibe that Trump is going to push Vance over Rubio? I am big time.
He's going to what?
He wants Vance and not Rubio in 28. He's sending Rubio. He's sending Vance to be there for this deal in Iran. He's kind of, I don't know. I've been watching. You don't think? Or do you think he wants the people to decide?
I think he wants the people to decide.
I think that should be the case. What do you guys want? In the comments section, tell me what you want. Which one would you prefer? Or is there somebody else? Me.
I know what I want.
So who is the name being floated for 2028? Maybe not for president, but maybe vice president. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Hunter Biden. But wait a minute. I laugh viscerally, but it actually could kind of work, right? So many things, so many people in Congress right now, or people who are trying to carve their way into the Capitol Hill bubble, have disqualifying pasts. Jasmine Crockett says something so disgusting that we're going to play for you coming up, that I'm so glad she's going to get bounced. She's going to be bounced from Congress. But honest to God, there's some things that should just be disqualifying. I think everything about Hunter Biden and his crime family syndicate is kind of that. But he's one of those people who does what John Fetterman does. He's just himself. And it's up to you to determine what you think of it. And I'm not so sure he really cares what you think. I don't. And I'm not sure John Fetterman does either. They are very individual, and they speak very bluntly and oftentimes authentically. So Hunter Biden was on the Fast Politics podcast with Molly Jong-Fast, liberal, far left, white college educated liberal chick, scourge, right? He said rather lucidly that the American public is being deliberately divided by an Epstein elite oligarch class, so that the people, we remain ants in the jar, fighting among ourselves rather than focusing on class disparity. He hits a lot of the things that the Democrats used to be about. Listen.
There is this very powerful group of people, and they all go to the same dinner parties, and they are all part of the same financial ecosystem that continues to fill their pockets in the Democratic Party, which I think is the one thing that makes it very, very, very difficult for the Democratic Party to ever actually achieve the real systemic change that we need in order to rehabilitate that brand. We need a new deal. We need somebody to come and break it.
Do you think he knows or he doesn't know? Do you think he knows that it's never been about change and helping people? Well, certainly not for the last, 20 years? Through the lens of the Democratic Party? Who have they helped? I mean, does Flint, Michigan even have clean water yet, Brock? I don't even think so.
You'd think they'd make it news if it did.
Is that a working? So. Can we get that? Can we do that? I mean, geez, right? Does Hunter Biden really think that the Democrats are the party of the good guy? These are the fighters for the little people. These are the great equalizers. These are your champions, your heroes. Really? You've got to be kidding me. But then he continues, and with a, presidential pardon in his pocket and probably some sort of revenge on his mind for the deep state coup that ousted his dad, Hunter is really kind of owning the Biden crime family syndicate's biggest liability, which is Joe's brain. Listen.
It wasn't like it was a surprise that they elected someone who was 78 years old. It was not like a surprise that people, as they get old, particularly, at that age, they literally lose a step. Like my dad lost a step. That does not mean per se that there is a cognitive decline. But instead of embracing it, I think that they tried to kind of obfuscate it. And the one thing Dad could never afford, in my opinion, was to not always embrace his greatest strength, which was his authenticity.
His authenticity was not being a very bright individual, Hunter. And if that's the story you're going to try to cook on us, did you not watch the debate? Remember what they told us? He's super tired. He was putting a lid on whatever. He was at Camp David or wherever he was preparing for the debate. And they were like, yeah, he's kind of petered out by 1 o'clock. So I don't know how much prep we're getting. Or did you not pay attention to what your dad said during the debate? Now, see, look, this is my opinion. And I, again, without evidence, certainly not at scale, other than my common sense and paying attention to what the dude did for 4 years or didn't do, I don't think Joe Biden had a clue in the world what was going on. I think they told him that, oh, buddy, honey, you did it. You won. And they'd stolen the election. He didn't know. I don't think he did, because he'd probably be like, hey, don't jump. And remember, I stole that election, right? They couldn't let him know that. I think they had him juiced up in the hyperbaric chamber for a good chunk of the time to make him seem like when he was vertical, that he was somewhat presentable. They hid him from the American people. They hid him from the media, and they spun all these happy horse crab stories that he was in the back juggling, chainsaws on his tippy toes. And we're like, pal, he can't make it to the blue X on the street and stand in his prescribed position to have the Easter Bunny save him from walking into the hedges. Like, really? Now, if Hunter Biden thinks that we weren't aware of all of that, I mean, is Hunter Biden really that much of a threat? You already know all of the dark secrets. You already know that the Biden crime family syndicate enriched themselves at a minimum by $30 million from China and Kazakhstan and Russia and name Ukraine. I don't know. Interesting. We're going to pay attention to Hunter Biden and see how his political star, how high it climbs. When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program, they're getting squeezed when they show us the juice. True colors coming out of some rhinos. Aw, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Next.
How much dirt and backdoor dealings that Hunter knows?
He was in there. Like, he was. Why would your son at the end of your presidency and your wife be conducting a cabinet meeting?
He could single-handedly probably burn a Democrat Party to the ground.
So they kind of have to keep him. If they don't kill him, it's terrible. I'm sorry.
What, you said it wrong.
They have to. You mean if he
don't
dies?
Unalive him.
Oh. If he doesn't just unalive himself somewhere, maybe he's a NASA scientist. Maybe he goes on a long walk by himself on a trail in the woods.
Or, he goes on a bender and.
Right. Anyway, kind of weird. Dr. Simkovich.
Not weird.
Dr. Simkovich is a great guy. He cares a lot about people who have traumatic brain injury, which is such a, falling and concussions, such a killer of senior citizens. It's like 40% of senior citizen deaths come from falls. And if you've been in an accident, if you've had your bell rung and you're not right, please call 412-366-3700. We watch what he does. We talk to people he helps. And he's so knowledgeable, and he knows how to feel where your injury is. An injury inside of your brain that you can't touch. He can feel. How? You got to go to the Simkovich Concussion Institute's website, simkovichconcussioninstitute.com, 412-366-3700. 100%. 100%. Love them. All right. So I told you guys about, I switched on Monday. Excuse me. Maybe it was Tuesday when I took a calm mood on the air. And yeah, it was Tuesday because we went to the baseball game and it ended up being a cluster ball. And, but But I had taken a calm mood on the air with you from healthycell.com/Wendy. And, I could tell in the moment that I was handling a stressful situation, better than I normally would have. And it's not all of a sudden I was touched by an angel and I became a more reasonable person in a stressful situation. I really think the calm mood that I had taken earlier in the day had kind of recalibrated me. It doesn't make you feel like you're numb. You don't feel like you're tired. I don't feel weary. I feel focused. And I feel in control. That's how it feels. And I took one this morning about 45 minutes before the show. And I think it's my new jam, calm mood. If you haven't tried Healthy Cell, it's microgel supplementation. So it's in a little squeezy and you take off the top and suck it in. And each formula is for something meaningful that we'd all like to address in our lives. Blood sugar, blood pressure, heart and vascular stuff, hair, skin, and nails, your eyesight, right? Your stress level, your bone strength. All of these are varieties of Healthy Cell formulations. I love the company. I like how they deliver the product. It's 165% better absorbed by your body than taking a pill. And I think that matters. healthycell.com/Wendy, 20% off your first order. Load it up, guys. If you're there might be something that's really enjoyable for your father or your husband or what have you. And I will tell you the REM sleep formula, about a half hour before bed, if you know you're going to have a hard time or you really need to get a good night's sleep, it's a very nice way to drift off and stay asleep and wake up and feel like you are rested. healthycell.com/Wendy. All right. How's everybody? No sign of anybody out there yet?
No.
Okay. Everything about these productions I dislike. Remember how I hemmed and hawed and fussed when you had to take pictures of me?
Yes.
Because they were too cheap. Newsmax was too freaking cheap to do it. They're like, do you have any pictures of yourself? I'm like, no. Who has pictures? Who's the mom and has pictures of themselves?
T Brooks 123, $5. When are the Zippos coming? When is the Zippos coming?
I know.
We will talk about that this weekend. I will force it upon her to make decisions.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get it done. Right? Isn't that what everybody's asking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you wear your shirt tomorrow? See how it feels after you washed it.
How about I wear it on Sunday and not tomorrow? Because I will sweat in that tomorrow.
Well, that's good. It's sporty.
Well, why would I wear that if I could wear either a More Gains Fitness or a Wendy Bell Radio tank top? I think our tank tops are the cutest things ever. I love mine. It's pink and gray. I love it. With the racer back.
I don't think we have any more.
I would love those. I would do those again. But maybe I found a shirt style that Jolene and I can talk about.
Ooh. Now you're talking. Jolene, and Armory of 61 have been saying, hey, when are shirts coming?
Okay.
I said, it's not up to me. I said, you got to talk to the boss. I don't speak for the boss. Don't worry, I'll have pictures, befores and afters of tomorrow. Hopefully I get Wendy running
What, the wheelbarrow?
no, the whole the compactor on the ground. So it pushes down the sand and the stone. Your arms will be.
I'll do what you want me to.
Really? Dig a hole here.
I'll help out. What am I
Fill
gonna...
it back in. Dig it up.
That's what it's like dealing with a man-child. See?
Just don't kill my hostas.
I wouldn't.
It's like, I won't give you fake beer.
Whatever. You can keep with your silly little narratives. They've been debunked and
No, they
fact-checked
haven't.
multiple times.
You've given fake beer, period.
Multiple times.
Fake.
I said
5, 4,
fake beer.
3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. I know sometimes you're driving through and you're clicking through stations and you hear a voice and you don't know who it is, but you like what they're talking about. Well, duh, that is this show. And so if you'd like to learn more, just go to wendybellradio.com. We've got a wonderful podcast, more than 8 million downloads so far. And so thank you for all you do to help us. I so appreciate it. You know, one of the things I think that I like about President Trump is something I liked very much about Rush Limbaugh. You know, he went through so much, Rush Limbaugh did. And I began listening to him out of grad school. And I fell in love with him. He was authentic. He was predictable. He became addictive to me. And I knew I was an addict of all that Rush Limbaugh was. And it was more than his values. It was more than his insight. He never let it get to him. He never sounded desperate. He never made it sound like a situation was insurmountable rather. He never sounded like something was bleak. I never lost hope. And I knew I was an addict when I was beyond disappointed when he wasn't there and Mark Stein was there or somebody else, because there was no other Rush Limbaugh. He had become part of my life and part of my day. And I loved it. President Trump has something very similar, I believe. He has an authenticity that can be maddening, yes, but it's extraordinarily dependable. He doesn't really surprise me. He doesn't have highs and lows. He doesn't have weird outbursts. He doesn't behave in ways that would be disqualifying. Right? They want you to believe he does, but he does not. And he has the same Limbaugh style love for and enthusiasm about America. And I find that extraordinarily appealing. There's enough reason for us to be down in the dumps on a given day. It shouldn't be because our country is being run into the ground. Well, it was interesting yesterday because there's some true colors that are coming out. And the thing about true colors is they're hard to see. When you think somebody is one way and then a situation forces the mask to slip and you get a glance behind the curtain, it's disappointing. Scott Pressler had one of these experiences yesterday, and it's just unfortunate. This is part of the do better. We need to do better, find better candidates. And this one has to do with John Cornyn. So apparently Scott Pressler, and if you're not familiar with him, he's just wonderful. And he basically made Pennsylvania a red state, voter registration wise, single-handedly, with certainly help, but he single-handedly galvanized this movement. He is the thorn in the side of anybody who wants to cheat, defraud people, lie to us, et cetera, et cetera. He apparently was near John Cornyn at an airport, and he walked up to him. And he said to him, look, I would really hope and be so happy if you would just vote for and pass the Save America Act. So I'm going to read you the story from Breitbart. Senator John Cornyn called conservative activist Scott Pressler a grifter on Thursday after Pressler said he approached the senator at an airport. Pressler initially wrote on X that he had a brief interaction with Cornyn at an airport where he encouraged the Texas Republican to pass the Save America Act. Just had a conversation with Senator John Cornyn at the airport. He posted on X, I was very gracious. I asked him to pass the Save America Act. Cornyn later reposted Pressler's post, and he responded with a single word, grifter. Really? That's disappointing. That's, to me, disqualifying. That's conduct unbecoming. There's nothing grifty about wanting only American citizens to vote in our elections. There's nothing grifty about wanting what so many other countries demand, and that's voter ID. John Cornyn showed you in one post everything you need to know about the deep state. Outsiders are not welcome. It kind of reminded me, and you know what? It reminded me of Nancy Pelosi's post, or Nancy Pelosi's response to the Lindell TV reporter who caught her earlier this week as Pelosi was walking into the Capitol through the metal detectors and whatnot. Allison Steinberg was ready to ask her a question about this or that, and this is how the woman who was in charge, the Speaker of the House, she was the third most powerful individual in the United States of America for like 8 years. This is how she responds to a reporter asking simple questions about January 6th and why Pelosi rejected the call 13 times for the National Guard. This is how Pelosi, John Cornyn, this woman from Lindell TV. Listen.
Why was your daughter filming you on January 6th?
Why don't you get away?
These are just questions the American people want answers to.
No, you know what? I don't even think you're a real journalist. You work for Mike the Pillow Man?
Actually, I do, and we're very proud.
I don't consider that journalism. Mike the Pillow Man, that's not journalism. I don't have any reason to talk to you.
He'd love to give you a free pillow.
I want you to record this. I want people to know that you are not a real journalist. You work for Mike the Pillow Man, and all you do is spout untruths. Okay. Get away from me.
You can insult me all you
want,
want,
but... Get away from me.
Wow. Now, how does that land with you? See, if you had nothing to hide, and a reporter was asking you about January 6th, and you did, in fact, ask for the National Guard, even though she did not until the whole thing was over, Nancy Pelosi, you wouldn't have that response to a reporter. You would say, well, actually, I did call for the National Guard. Well, where's that proof? I have it on my desk. This is my aide. Can she get your email address? And we'll have it shot over to you. Okay. Now the issue is resolved, and you don't come off looking like an old bag who's clearly scared the truth not only is coming out, but has been out. Why do they have to resort to name calling? This is supposed to be the party of feelings, of inclusion, of we're all in this together, the big giant tent. Bring us your misfits. Bring us your beleaguered. We will lift you up. No, we won't. No, we won't. We're the most uninclusive, uninviting, hateful, spiteful, angry people, and we show our true colors. Now, how is John Cornyn responding to Scott Pressler, who merely said, I ran into John Cornyn in the airport, and I asked him, please pass the Save America Act. Everybody wants it. What are you doing? And John Cornyn's response as he reposts in Pressler's tweet is to call him a grifter? Well, where's the evidence for that, John? Or are you just butthurt that you thought you were going to sail to victory? You thought the president was going to be just like everybody else and let you get away with all the stuff you've been doing. And then he didn't. And he went for Ken Paxton. The people chose Ken Paxton. And now you've been carved out. And so you know what John Cornyn's doing? This is the ultimate child move of a cornered deep stater. He's going to hold his, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to campaign with or endorse the Republican candidate for Senate. The guy who's going to beat me for my job. I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to do it for the team. I don't care about the party. They don't. Republican in name only. It's no different than Nancy Pelosi. But you can tell she's frazzled and she's ugly. And she did so much stinking harm to not just the Democratic Party, but to this country. She sat on a complete theatrical production concocted to stop the man that we voted for to make America great again. Chew on that for a while, Democrats. Chew on that. Well, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you know, the cataclysmic collapse of Bill Gates' popularity in America tells us the real story of Jeffrey Epstein's disgusting empire, that it's never going to come out. Never going to come out. How do I know that? Harry Enton tells me that without even really saying that. Let's see if you hear it too next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
See, I kind of disagreed with Harry here. I don't think the dislike for Bill Gates started with Epstein.
No.
It started with the pandemic.
It started with all of his nasty things. He wanted to sterilize all the girls in Africa and all this other stuff. He wanted to build a shield for the sun. Bioengineering bugs.
Food.
All
milk.
about bio milk, fake meat. It's like everything dastardly and wrong with is Bill Gates. And yet he wields the magic wand of money. And so people obey.
Yeah.
And it's gross.
Like the vaccine where he got in. He funded all the media outlets.
Made $245 million.
Made a ton of money and then
dropped
bailed.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's really not as effective as we had hoped. You remember when we said it's 100%? Well, it's really not at all. And you're like, really?
I remember when Kate was watching BBC and she's like, well, they don't do that. I'm like, ooh.
They get millions of dollars.
They took Bill Gates' money too, so I don't want to hear it. They're just polite.
Why not decide what kind of health insurance plan you get? Why don't we just design our plan? Coverage we want, the doctors we want, prices we want to pay, things that are important to us. Why do we have to get stuck with some like one size fits all thing that costs more than we can afford and doesn't deliver what we need it to because the premiums and the deductibles are so high, right? How does that make sense? It doesn't work. That's Obamacare. Well, that's going to fall apart. I want you to write down somewhere info.healthrevolution.net. Info.healthrevolution.net. Okay? Save 30 to 60% on your health insurance. Choose the doctor you want to go to. Have very reduced co-payments. Okay? If you're a gig worker, if you're self-employed, if you're on COBRA, if you're under the age of 65 and you're pretty healthy, this is a great opportunity for you to get in before the whole system goes haywire and it's on its way. And get an expert on the phone to talk to you. They'll explain exactly what it is. 800-868-6187. I prefer calling and talking to people. Like, carve out an hour of your day. Honestly, find a time that you can call 800-868-6187. Get somebody on the line. Tell them about this. They'll know that you're from us. But ask them, what can you do for me? Think about what you need as coverage and then get it. 30 to 60% cheaper than what you're paying now. info.healthrevolution.net. One of those no-brainers, right? You know, the Obamacare debacle should have been disqualifying for all of these people to ever tell us about anything. I hate everybody. It's taken me a while, but there I am. $4,200 people. Love seeing you here. And thank you for the rumbles. Jesus. All right. Oh, I get to talk about Ghost Bed.
You can make that pitch to 2 people. Amanda, Jolene. Both. Need to get on the ball and buy a Ghost Bed.
So nice. So comfortable. So easy. So easy. Like, can one thing in life just be easy? Go. Yeah. Ghost. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, I don't think ever about Bill Gates. I have great ire for him. I think he's dirty. I think he's been bad for humanity. I think he's hobnobbed with lifestyles of the rich and famous and has wielded a wand that has destroyed the health in a lot of places. I think his ideas are disgusting. So I don't like the guy, right? But I have to scratch my head and be like, why is Harry Enton doing a video blurb over at CNN about the popularity of Bill Gates? Does anybody out there have one question in the world that Bill Gates was doing things he shouldn't have done against his wife with people that Jeffrey Epstein was hooking him up with, right? Does anybody out there think that he is just a man wrongly accused? I don't think so. But people are not buying his story that he, in fact, was being a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. That's a story he told Congress yesterday. He says that Jeffrey Epstein, in fact, Bill Gates said this, that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to blackmail him. Right. So I want you to hear Harry Enton. He says, you know what? Bill Gates once was America's darling, but now people really don't like him. I don't know what happened. Really? This is what he's talking about? I wonder why. Listen.
Bill Gates' net favorability. Back in 2018, there was perhaps no other American who was as popular as Bill Gates was. His net favorability rating was plus 74 points. But look where it was by 2025. Way down. What is that? That is a nearly 70-point drop way down there to just plus 6 points. And I've seen some non-Ipsos polling. These are Ipsos. I've seen some non-Ipsos polling to suggest that now Bill Gates' net favorability rating is now negative in the United States of America. Quite the steep decline from being one of the most well-liked Americans back in 2018 when he was 74 points on the positive side of the ledger.
Okay, so I don't think we're ever going to get the truth about Epstein. I don't think we're ever going to find out the people who were doing disgusting things that they ought not have been, because I think it would rattle the Supreme Court. I think you'd see people from the Supreme Court on that list. I think some of the highest people in government, in Hollywood, in politics, in media, in all of this. I think we would all be like, what? And I believe that there is a deep state cabal that would never let it happen, ever, ever, ever. The same way I don't believe we're ever, ever, ever going to learn about the UFOs. You're going to get some drip, 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 but you're not going to get the story. You're not going to get the meat and potatoes, even though a majority, overwhelming majority of all political classes, all of us, all demographics want this information. Harry says 3/4 of all adults say this Epstein saga and cover-up have dramatically lowered their opinions of and trust in America's political and business leaders. curious poll question. Listen.
I think that this is just part of a larger story, and it just is part of a larger story, any association with Jeffrey Epstein. Take a look here. Say the Epstein files has lowered your trust in political and business leaders. You get the rare trifecta here. A majority of Republicans, 67%, independents, 73%, 86% of Democrats, 75% of all adults, a clear majority. You know, when I get off of air and I talk to people in the quote-unquote real world, the Epstein files is consistently brought up, and they believe it is part of just a larger story in which business leaders and political leaders are far less trusted than before.
Do you really need Harry Enten to tell you this? This is as obvious as 84% of us want only American citizens with proof of ID and citizenship to vote in our elections. This is one of those no-brainer things. And you can take swings at that piñata all day long. They're never going to let your bat connect. Ever. It tells you everything. It's a party, guys, and you're not invited. But you are the one in charge of the catering. Finally, Harry says 9/10 of Americans, 9 out of 10 American citizens absolutely believe there is a two-tiered system in this country of justice, of rules, of permissibility. And you know what? 9 out of 10 of us think it really stinks.
It's part of this rich and powerful that they can get away with stuff. Take a look here. Epstein files show that powerful people are rarely held accountable. Again, the rare trifecta, 82% of Republicans, 80% of independents, 90% of Democrats, 84% of all adults. As I said, the Epstein files sort of matches what people believe out there, which is the rich and powerful can get away with stuff that other people simply put can't.
And that's common sense. We all know that. We felt that. We saw that in live living color over the last 5 years when they locked us up, shut down mom and pop stores, and allowed the big conglomerate companies to continue operating, where they wouldn't let you go to church, but you could go get porn, right? Where you couldn't go to the barber shop, but if you wanted to get, beer or a handle of liquor, have at it. Just make sure you stand 6 feet away from the person at the register, because that's going to fix everything. The scary part about these, looking at Harry and what he's talking about from 30,000 feet, it's not what he's talking about. It's what he's showing us. That President Trump isn't the tip of the iceberg. There is a whole network that is operating in the shadows that controls what is going on. I don't know about you guys. I didn't vote for them. I don't want them. I just don't know what it's going to take. What is it going to take to flush these people out and get them the hell out of our way? Because they're the ones who really don't want America to be made great again. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the biggest stain on the Democrat brand is how they used and abused this one group of people. And none of you will disagree with me on that. Who they are next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I never had an opinion of Bill Gates. Like, I didn't give it either way. Like, I don't understand the people who, I mean, how many of those people that approved of him just knew his name and didn't care and was like, yeah, he seems fine to me. One of the most popular in America, Harry. Really? I'll try to get some pictures of Wendy working this weekend. I will give her credit. She's a worker. When she says she's going to help, she's one of those people that actually helps. You better not be making a run for it. I think Trump is trying not to destroy Iran's economy, which is going to give the people the opportunity to build back up and take responsibility for themselves. I think that's Trump's whole thing of let the people do it.
What are you talking about?
I was saying that my take on Trump and Iran is that he doesn't want to kill the economy. If you kill the economy, you kill the spirit of the people. And he wants the people to actually.
He wants everybody to have what we have.
Right. So to me, it's you blow things up and you level things. You strip them of the economy. You strip them of the basics. People aren't worried about their country. They're worried about surviving.
Mm-hmm. I think that's well said. Oh, ghost bed. Got to go to ghost bed, you guys. This is one of those things where
I demand to pay attention.
I'm super geeked about this this sponsor. Buying a mattress used to involve going somewhere to a store, kicking off your shoes, and awkwardly lying down and pretending in like 30 seconds that this is where you want to spend a third of your life, right? From that moment until the next 10 years. Like, that's it. You're locked and loaded. And what if it got to your house, it was delivered, and then you hated it? The best you could hope for is that there's some kind of return policy with like a 15% restocking fee, but still that sucks. What if you kind of did something different? What if you rolled the dice and instead of flopping down on a mattress, you read about all the different categories? That's GhostBed, ghostbed.com/Wendy. Let me make sure it is / because it might be just, / So you can go there. It shows you all of the different kinds of mattresses that they have at GhostBed. But the thing that's great about it is you can go to the Mac Daddy Cadillac of them all. You can go down here to the Subaru, and you're going to get the same quality mattress with the same cooling technology. And that's what it is. Hot sleepers love GhostBed. My hybrid full-size GhostBed that's in the boys' room is a nice firm mattress with the most fantastic pillow top. It's not too squishy. It's not too thick. It's just the right kind of cushion that feels super comfy. And when you roll over, I'm a side sleeper. You're just like, that's it. And you don't roast. If you're a hot sleeper, GhostBed is your magic. And the technology is on every single mattress they sell. You get to sleep on it for 101 nights, risk-free. That's the deal. That's the deal. And if you don't like it, okay, they'll take it back. Ghostbed.com / Wendy. You're going to like it. And by the way, that old mattress that you have, that's a bazillion pounds. Yeah, it's time to get rid of that one.
Maybe I should get Sinatra a ghost bed. He's like 100 degrees.
I wonder how that works. I think I know that they have certain ones for mattresses for campers and RVs and things of that nature. And they probably just do nothing that would go inside of a crate, probably. I don't know. But something that, is.
He doesn't sleep in his crate.
He doesn't?
No, he'll go and lay down, but he doesn't sleep there.
Really?
He goes wherever he wants.
Oh. Murphy
has
doesn't have
full reign.
Murphy doesn't get that.
My dog gets the white glove treatment.
Yeah, he does. He also gets that expensive dog food that I get to pay for him.
Talk to him.
Really?
You don't have to eat it.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I mean, he's not a 1%er. He's not used to it.
GhostBed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long. Feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Right? GhostBed's offering my audience an extra 10% off. And they also offer financing. Some of these GhostBeds with financing are like $1 a day. That's a pretty good deal. I like it. Oh, Chef IQ back. Yes.
You want to hear
See-
some good news?
Mm-hmm.
Michael just got another gig.
Toolsy.
Yeah.
From what? Did he tell? I'm gonna tell you out of the gates that this is one of those stories that I, like, I'm sure a lot of you have purposely scrolled past on my social media feeds. Because there are some stories that are just so disturbing that if we put them away for a while, we can stave off what it's going to make us feel like. And there is no pushing it off. This is the story. And the story is we have to save the kids. We have to rescue and find hundreds of thousands of missing children from around the world who came into this country because they were invited. They were incentivized. They were told, come. Yes, this is the time. And then they were lost and they were processed. I think cattle are probably processed more humanely than the world's children, some of whom were put with monsters, some who are being raped and abused as we speak. This president wants to find the kids. He doesn't just want to. He demands that we find the children. If there is not something that we can kumbaya around, join hands, put aside the differences, and unite behind, if there is one thing, it is this thing. It is protecting the most precious resource any country has, and that is its babies. So yesterday, DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, I believe, gave the best, not performance, because it makes it sound theatrical, and it's not. He proved to me why Donald Trump chose him to be the new DHS secretary, rather. And I want you to hear this, because the Department of Homeland Security yesterday announced something huge, that the Trump administration has found 146,000 migrant children who were lost under Joe Biden. And let me give you a little backstory before you hear from the secretary himself. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen announced Thursday that the Trump administration has located 146,000 unaccompanied migrant children who were trafficked into the United States during the Biden administration and subsequently lost. 146,000 have been found. That's the population of Syracuse, New York. Think about that. If every single person in Syracuse, New York was lost and then found, that is exactly what happened. That's what the Trump administration's been doing for the last 2 years. While Democrats and progressives have called Trump a Nazi and a rapist. Fill in the blank. During a news conference at the DOJ with Todd Blanche and other top Trump administration officials, Mullen credited a joint effort between DHS, ICE, and the Department of Health and Human Services for finding the missing children, which he said the president has made a top priority. But there is a staggering number. And I want to remind you of something. The DHS secretary, I'm getting it all confused. I beg your pardon. DHS secretary under Joe Biden, who's running for governor of California. This is the guy who lost the kids. And this is the guy that Democrats want to be the governor of California. And I want you to consider that. What if it was your child? Do you think Javier Becerra would look for your child when he lost 450,000 of them in 4 years? I want you to just think about that. When you hear Mark Wayne Mullen set up what this press conference was about yesterday and drop some absolutely stunning numbers.
You know, I tell people that I haven't quit smiling since I've been Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, but I have to take that back, because when we start digging into these cases and you start hearing the absolute horrific things that took place underneath the Biden administration, under true neglect at best and criminal at worst, to allow 450,000 kids to go missing throughout this country. President Trump has made it a point to go find these kids. And because of our partnership with HHS and DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, truly using the best of the best, which the Democrats sometimes want to demonize, because a lot of times this is ICE, this is HSI, this is CBP. These individuals that the Democrats seem to want to defund, but because of President Trump, we finally funded them for 3 years. We're able to push and go find these kids. We found 146,000 kids so far. 146,000 kids. We still have nearly 300,000 missing.
So they found Syracuse, but the population of Pittsburgh is still missing. 450,000 children. I don't know what to say about that. I know that anybody who was a part of that failure, who let children go to unvetted sponsors, who raped them and tortured them and made them do terrible jobs and robbed them of their childhood, that is disqualifying. And anybody whose fingerprints are anywhere near this tragic story should be run out of town, permanently deported. You are not worthy because of what you did to those kids. You failed those kids, Mr. Becerra. Mark Wayne Mullen continues, and he says something that I'm sorry that I have to share with you, because it is not okay to be willfully blind about the human trafficking of children. Listen.
Some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you? Who are you? Every leader should understand what's going on. And do you know where we're finding the most of them? Sanctuary cities. Because they know they're safe. That's why they're called sanctuary cities. Because of President Trump's leadership, we're going into those sanctuary cities. We have mayors like Mondami in New York who want to say you're not welcome. As a mayor, he knows what's happening on the streets. He knows who he's harboring, and at this point in abating. By saying that we can't go operate, we're going to. We're going to go find the worst of the worst. We're going to rescue as many kids as we possibly can. We're going to enforce our nation's laws, and we're going to right the wrongs that the Biden administration turned a blind eye to.
And think about the pawns in the Democrats' pushback against Border Patrol and ICE. Think about Alex Preddy. Think about Renee Good. They died protesting the people, the men and women who are going to find the children who the Biden administration lost. Do you think they know that? I guarantee you they don't. That's not what Indivisible or Crowds on Demand or what have you. It's not what they teach you. They just teach you that Trump is bad. And they're going after people and they're rounding up people who are dark-skinned. What racists. And they're going to go in and they're going to drag them away from people and kids are going to cry and it's going to be horrible. Stop. ICE. And that's not even close to what's going on. Those agents are going in to save children. How is it that Democrats are always on the darkest, dirtiest side of everything? We can't come together, you mean that? To rally around children? What kind of monster knows what is going on and doesn't just allow it to continue? But that is part of the sham, smokescreen, fury, protests outside this ICE detention center. They're the ones who whip up the ants and shake the jar. Those are the people who hop on planes that you pay for to travel to El Salvador to meet with a gang-banging, human trafficking dirtbag who roughed up his wife. These are the people Democrats rally around. Don't you think that's disqualifying? And then Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche stood up. And I like him. The more I pay attention to him, the more I like him. Some woke reporter babe in the room at this press conference doesn't hear 450,000. She takes umbrage with the evidence. What kind of evidence is there going on that these children are missing? That's a big charge. Todd Blanche responds in a heartbeat.
You can insert whatever word you want. I said encourage. If you know there's a problem and you're in a position of leadership to stop it and you don't stop it, what word should I use? I mean, I use the word encouraged. If it isn't as if this was a single day problem. You have a situation that happened over a number of years. They knew it was happening. It was brought to their attention it was happening, and they didn't do anything to stop it. As a matter of fact, when you look at the end of 2024, and there were 300,000, like you just think in your mind that number that number of young children, and then we had no idea where they were in this country.
And you're worried about my use of the word encourage, that the Biden administration encouraged children to come into this country. And she took umbrage with that. Not with, oh my gosh, 450,000 missing children. Oh my gosh, we've rescued 26,000. Not, oh my gosh, we still have 300,000 more to find. But semantics. Some people will not be saved, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to save the children. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I finally got my head straightened out. Former HHS Secretary Becerra, who wants to be governor of California. Let's remember his role in hurting the world's children next. All right. I'm so excited. I had one left. One left of my MCT Wellness from Dr. Gundry. This is the healthy fat. Look at this. Is how much I love it. He gave me this like little scrap. I'm going to dump that in here because I don't want to miss a speck. That's what I'm talking about. Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds inventing something. Literally, his success with this, I think, probably encouraged him to step away from his highly lucrative, high-powered job doing cardiothoracic surgery, heart and lung transplants for children. And he's like, you know what? This is more meaningful. I believe I can have more of an impact helping people reclaim their weight.
Man, tastes
good. This is a powder. It's a scoop. You put it in water. You're already drinking water. Why not put this in your water and drink it and then enjoy not having wild cravings for several hours? This is that little nudge that you need to get when you're, I'm got to eat something. Well, if you drink this instead of eat a meal, what are you going to do? You're going to lose weight. but it's delicious. I crave it. And if I don't have it, I get a little fussy. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy for people who have significant weight to lose. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal tool for your arsenal. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. 20% off, I think it is. Okay, I just totally missed that shot. Okay, whatever. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I dig it. Dig it.
Yeah, I noticed you made it at home, so you didn't have to share it.
No, that's not true. You have your Chuck juice. I'm super geeked for them to come back to us.
So much.
So when they get that, when they figure out the looks of that, we've already given them so much freaking promotion. It's not even funny.
I'm sorry.
But we love what we love. Love what we love.
I didn't think I'd like this,
Mhm.
but I've been gravitating towards the watermelon mint.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you would. I thought you might enjoy that. It's got a little, I like mint, as long as you're not trying to grow it in your yard, because it will absolutely destroy everything.
It
And it's-
almost tastes like a cocktail.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's refreshing with like a mojito.
Oh, see, these are just tools for us. I don't want to sit here and eat in front of you. I'm not going to sit here and chomp on stuff, but 3 hours to talk is a long time. I find that when I'm drinking this, though, I'm not hungry. I'm not thinking of anything else. I'm not distracted. And if you are on that plateau of losing weight, this might be your secret sauce. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy.
Calories in, calories out. You know, if you can eliminate a meal.
Right? I'm kind of hopeful that they don't show up, so I don't
I was
have
kind
to.
of thinking the same thing.
I just, first of all, I look like a poodle. And
Watch
at
them
least
show up at like 1:45 and be like, can we pretend?
at home, I can at least put it back and like tame the shrew. But here it's like,
Look out.
look out. That's not very friendly.
Thank you all too. I'll say it for him because he's texted me. Thank you for all that you stick around for JD after the show.
Aw.
For his show, it's helping. It's
Is
helping.
it?
It's helping him grow. Yeah. So
We like good people.
yeah,
It's
he's
not
good people.
complicated. You guys are good people. That's the number one thing all of these advertisers say, no matter who represents them, whether they're a mom and pop or they're represented by a company, they marvel at you. You're very special. I tell you that. It's not sunshine. So click the goddamn
Yeah, I mean,
button.
she never says that about me. Rumble, damn it.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. So, as HHS Secretary under Joe Biden, and we've heard people say he was ineffective, people didn't like him, he wasn't a leader. Javier Becerra was a zero. But beyond a zero, he wasn't a zero. He was a negative force in the lives of hundreds of thousands of children from around the world. I want to know what happened. What happened to us where we stopped protecting the world's most precious? I mean, honestly, and I would do this. If I could intervene on the behalf of a child, my child, your child, someone's kid, to save their life, and it cost me mine, I believe I'm telling you the truth when I tell you I would do it. My life years, 56, I would sacrifice that for an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old. Where is that mechanism? Where did it go? Is honestly making money and grifting off of kids more important than just being a good human being? Becerra's role in the loss of nearly 500,000 children from around the world, to me, is completely disqualifying for Javier Becerra to even be anywhere near the gubernatorial race, let alone the front runner of it. Please, do you really think that Californians were hot and bothered for that guy? That guy who couldn't answer questions. In fact, I remember in 2024, Burgess Owens with Then HHS Secretary Javier Becerra, who was asked about the New York Times reporting about 85,000 migrant kids. The number was 85,000 at the time. It wasn't 450,000. It was 85,000 migrant kids that HHS lost. This is what Burgess Owens said.
Mr. Secretary, I hadn't planned on going this direction, but can't help it at this point. We just had one of my colleagues talk about some of the evil that's happening at our border. There's no longer a rapid DNA test as of June of 2023 because of the Biden administration, which means we can no longer tie children coming across the border with the people bringing them across the border. There's reports of 85,000 children being lost. So far, the best you can give us is that they're not lost, it's just the people not answering the phone. We're now hearing about children being used and reused, going back and forth to the border because of the cartel. We're talking about slavery, rape, abuse of children, stealing of children. You say that if this was your child, you'd do everything they could to stop it. What about other people's children? How can you remain part of an administration that allows this evil to happen?
Do you want to know how Becerra responded? Well, here you go.
Congressman, if I could just, in 5 seconds, just respond. Yes. If 85,000 children were lost, you, me, everyone in this room would have taken action. That number is inaccurate. That's not a statistic that's real.
So what is the real number? How many have been lost?
That's the thing. They're not lost. They
just not answer the phone. In other words, the sponsors not answer the phone.
Well, Congress did not give anyone.
Okay, no, let me just say this: when you leave it, you give it to a sponsor. They do not answer the phone. You don't know where those kids are. They are lost. Let's just keep. If you don't know where they are, you don't have their address. You can't go and pick them up. You can't look do welfare. They are lost.
Accurate.
Okay, with that.
Owens interrupts him when he says Congress didn't give us the authority to track them down. Wait, what? Would you let a drug dealer babysit your child? Would you let a gang-banging human trafficker babysit your daughter or take her to dinner? Would you ever in a million years? No, sir, you wouldn't. And you want to get in some semantics back and forth with us? Of course, this is the same man whom Democrats have put the eggs in the basket for. The same man who in 2022 scolded his HHS staffers for not moving the migrant kids out of the shelter fast enough and placing them with sponsors. Whomever, get it done. This is how an assembly line is supposed to work. Why isn't it? Say what?
If Henry Ford had seen this in his plants, he would have never become famous and rich. This is not the way you do an assembly line. And kids aren't widgets, I get it. But we could do far better than this.
Kids aren't widgets. I get it. You know, I hope Steve Hilton's campaign pays close attention to this program because on a daily basis, we're giving him fodder out the flippin' wazoo of reason 11 billion why Javier Becerra should be disqualified from any kind of office, let alone the top spot in a state the Democrats are so desperate to burn down. Hour 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program on tap, indefensible, and yes, disqualifying. Did you hear what they're doing about Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf's twin brother? Oh boy, next. Wow.
They just got here.
Okay. Disinfectwithsniper.com, disinfectwithsniper.com. I sprayed it all over the shower today. I have a beautiful glass shower, stone, whatever shower. And after I use the squeegee on it, get all the excess water out of it, I spray the bejabbers out of the floor of it, and I just let Sniper do its thing. That's how I keep my shower clean. That's how easy it is. That's how much I love Sniper. Right now, everything at disinfectwithsniper.com. You're going to find something for your father, for your son, for the man in your life who you love. Disinfectwithsniper.com. That is where you go. Flags, spices, everything, and every single product at disinfectwithsniper.com. It's all that. And before I get sideways here, I want to tell you, I know you guys are still thinking about it. Don't think anymore. 40% is the number where you pull the trigger. This, my friends, Chef IQ Sense. This is the best, most brilliant, dummy-proof tool that will prevent you from slaving around outside at the grill only to cook meat that's not to your liking. I don't want to guess when I'm making a steak. I don't want to have friends over and botch it. I want to be completely confident. And that's what this is. One simple device, 40% off right now. ChefIQ.com. Use my name and you'll find that 40% discount site-wide. Oh my, everything they do, I would buy. Swear to God.
Kate's cooking. I just got an alert on my phone that the oven is being used.
I love that. I love that. This is a company that you're just going to have to get behind because they're fantastic. All right. This is what
Try to tame it.
I can't. It is what it is. My hair is all over the place. You get what you get with me, right? Whether it's horrible or not. It's kind of horrible, but that's okay. What's going on? How's everybody out there? Hi, Truth Saber. Hi, Vipers. Hi, Darius. What's going on? Hi, Sherry. What's great? Greater. Botched that. Sorry. Hi, Moogle. Hi, Ray Carr. Hi, Liberty. Hi, Demanda. What's going on, Stephen G? Hi, Darlene. What's going on, Redush? Or Redush, whatever it is. You never told me what's on. John gives me a sweetheart. Hi, babe. Hi, Glow. Hi, Ortega. What's going on, Bill Fred? It's good to see you here. Riverwater, hello, hello. Free bird. Mm-hmm.
So this is the shot.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
You're gonna. No, I obviously have to be sitting here.
I'm going to run to the bathroom real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, they can all hear you. So this is the live is live the whole time. What time is it live? We're live right now. Yeah, we're live. Like if I put this, if I click this button, everybody can see. If you step over here, we're literally live. So we live stream the whole radio show. So I don't know where the best setup is going to be because I know we have these lights here that are sort of in the way. We can move my light.
Yeah, we'll probably end up turning yours off.
Yeah.
If I step in there and stay out of the shot and be quiet, is that okay?
You're not going to be out of the shot. Where would you stand?
Like if I'm stuck against the wall in there.
Oh, in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ask her. She probably won't care. She's a pro. People have a big misunderstanding of how studios are set up, and their radio studios are not set up for TV shots, much like TV isn't set up for radio. So it's going to be a little cluster. It's tough because when you're doing a live show and somebody's in there while you're talking is kind of distracting.
Am I in shot here, Brock?
No, you're not. Okay. No.
So I think you got
In which shooting, it has to like they need my light off, so to not interfere with the shot they're taking.
Yes, 213.
Okay.
Mhm.
Could we could clear off just like those
This area?
Yeah, that right there.
I can move that aside.
Okay. And then we can
I might hear. I might end up sneaking in and stuff. When you're on that, make sure you're quiet.
Sure, not a problem. Not a problem.
Appreciate it.
Would it be easier to get the shot at 3?
Would it be easier for you guys to do this when we're off the air, or did you honestly want to see what you could do?
What's your time frame for being on? You want 15 minute blocks?
About, yeah, 15 and then break and then a shorter 1, 6.
Let's wait for that breaks. And then that way
So you guys get
Sure.
all this behind
Sure,
the scenes
Happy
stuff.
to do that. Those things will turn up, yeah. But you can turn it off if you would, because it's terrible, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to turn that one back on the flag.
You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I'm prettier in the dark, to be honest with you.
I am too.
Isn't everybody prettier in the dark?
Yes. So I'm thinking I should twist this.
Lighting is not my friend. Clothes are. Lighting, not so much. Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody feels that way, by the way.
What? I look better with clothes on in the
No,
dark?
everybody feels that they look better with clothes on in the
Yeah.
dark.
I'm better
so-
looking at 2 a.m. too.
Are you?
Yeah, after someone's been hammered.
Shut up. Shut up. Mm-mm. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
190 comments, you guys. Love it. Thank you.
Well, because they're shooting, I'm going to have to play a specific open. So,
What's up, Gunny Pink? Hi, Bowling Mom. Hi, DC Reach or D
Here we go.
Creech. It's great to be with you guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live and on the clock. And as always, it is a great joy to be able to spend 3 hours with you. I wake up excited to do this with you every single day. And I want to thank you for that joy. You know, I watched the Carmelo Anthony trial, if you followed this just tragic story that ends well for nobody. That's created so much angst in Texas when one teenager stabs another teenager and kills them. And instead of the story being about right and wrong and consequences of behavior, it's devolved into this pissing match of race. Look, what you look like doesn't make your behavior more illegal or less. It is right or it is wrong. You are guilty or you are not. And I think those of us who survived O.J. Simpson, and I was working in St. Louis, Missouri for the NBC station there when that verdict came down. American society should not hold its collective breath because they're worried that a verdict is going to prompt rioting and looting and shooting and crazy madness and excuses and stupid people coming out of the woodwork saying the most disqualifying things. And yet here we are. The evidence proved what the evidence proved. A jury made a decision, and now a young man who, yes, is black, is going to go to prison for 35 years for stabbing another young man who happened to be white. You can look at that any which way you want. But we have given far too many people in this society a pass for far too long. Well, certain groups of people are going to loot and rob and steal. But what do you expect them to be? They're so oppressed. This is the freaking United States of America. It is the year 2026. The only slaves I know of in this country happen to be lost because they came here unaccompanied as children and then were shipped off to God knows who to do God knows what. Now, in this Carmelo Anthony case, there's some squawk about the knife he used. On Wednesday, some racially inflammatory comments. The Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett, always the bottom of the barrel, always saying something stupid, always proving to us that there have to be better candidates who check all of the obligatory boxes that the Democrats need that don't say such dumb stuff. Well, she said something about the knife. Well, I heard it was just a little Swiss Army knife that this guy, Carmelo Anthony, used. A little Swiss Army knife. I can't go into somebody and puncture their heart. Yeah, well, it really wasn't that knife that she was trying to tell you it was. I thought we should probably listen to what she said, and then you can ruminate on it for a minute as I decide how much I dislike most people. Let's go.
Awful. Wait a minute. Was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
And
I forgot he had it in his bag.
If it was one of the little, like I don't know. Like I do think.
Well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I heard him that.
So they're arguing that they heard that the knife Carmelo Anthony used to plunge into the heart of Austin Metcalf and kill him in the arms of his twin brother, that it was just one of those little Swiss Army knives. You know, the one that has a toothpick and has a nail file, has the cute little scissors in it. That's not long enough to go into somebody's chest cavity and puncture their heart. Clearly it's wrong. It's racist. And then you find out that these idiots flapping their lips, dropping the IQ of the American people another rung. Well, it wasn't just a little Swiss Army knife. It was a 6-in-1 multi-tool knife that's 5 inches by 9 inches by 7.75 inches. That is a large multi-tool knife that killed a young man. This is where we are. Because you don't like the verdict, because the black person was convicted for killing someone, and that someone was white. Now we've got to drum up all of the reason why it was a bad verdict, why the whole system is rigged against him, but we need reparations, by golly. The only thing she didn't do is bring out Hank Johnson and his horrible guitar to sing us a song about how Guam might tip over if too many people are on it. This is what we have, ladies and gentlemen, where the Metcalf family, they don't get 35 years from now. Their son doesn't come out of prison alive. He's dead. And did you see them now urinating on Austin Metcalf's grave? There's actually a petition that has been started. This is disqualifying. This is conduct unbecoming. This is a degree of disgusting that does not deserve to be in these United States, I dare say. And I did, because I believe it. There's a petition at change.org to have Austin Metcalf's twin brother, Hunter, arrested and charged with something. I don't really know why. What is it? What exactly? Here we go. Breitbart. Carmelo Anthony supporters launched change.org petition calling for the arrest of Austin Metcalf's brother. Mere hours after the Give, Send, Go fund supporting Carmelo Anthony was unpublished. Nobody, I think, wants to be responsible for crowdfunding for now a convicted murderer. Activists supporting the teen murderer launched a petition calling for the arrest of Austin Metcalf's brother, Hunter. Why doesn't anybody come out and say, you know what? Here's a message to everybody. Don't kill other people. Because if you do, you're going to be found guilty. And you're going to go to prison. And we don't kill. Thou shalt not kill. I don't know. Can we start there before we dip into, oh, it's racially motivated. Oh, he's got hands of justice, just squeezed another black person. No. We're so tired of that. You know, I didn't see race until you forced me to see race, until you campaigned on race, and you told me how racist I was because it was my privilege. I was so privileged and so blinded by it, I didn't even know what a racist I was. Do you know how absolutely stupid and insulting that is? Well, you've insulted enough of us that we're done. How about you don't kill people? Can we start with that? As a member of the Black community in America, the ongoing injustices we face daily have reached a tipping point, the petition reads. Our community is fed up with the perpetual cycle of violence and discrimination that remains unchecked by a justice system that too often turns a blind eye to our plight. I don't even know where you want to begin with that. This is, again, a product of the Democratic Party. Remember in the 1960s? Black couples, married black couples, outnumbered whites. And then what happened? Oh, all of these causes came out. All of the justice stuff. Abortion became, you don't have to have that baby, just get rid of it. Leading to an all-out slaughter of the Black community. Carve dad out of the mix, make mom have to work multiple jobs to support her children, who then are home unattended to do what? Get into trouble. Where are the values? You know where values come from? A lot of them, dads, and the threat of having your ass whooped. That's where that comes from. Do you know who teaches a young man, thou shalt not kill? Probably his dad, by example. And you know who's been carved out of the Black family? Fathers. I think it's absolutely despicable that we have to even talk about such a story. It's a disgrace that a family will not see their child for 35 years. But there's another family not far across town that would give everything they have to see their son again. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, nothing says happy birthday, America, like burning something into the grass on the National Mall. Did you see this? Oh, yeah. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I probably scared our guys. They're probably like, dang, we don't want to go in there. That's just not safe.
What's that?
I probably scared our friends.
No, do you need them?
No. I was saying I got fussy there, and so it was kind of loud.
They did me a favor.
What's that?
They put me in the dark.
Oh,
nobody puts baby in a corner.
GLP-1 gold. I'm kind of freaked out, on the heels of COVID, the vaccine, so many questions, so much distrust of medicine, of science, of research, of pharma, and how many people raced out to get those weight loss shots. Look, I know a lot of you did, and I'm not here to criticize you. I'm saying I worry about the long-term effects. I worry about what's really being injected into our bodies, what's really in there. Are they telling you? Or are you going to find out down the road when all of a sudden you go blind in one of your eyes? I don't know. But on the heels of what they did to us with COVID, I wouldn't be inclined necessarily to go full bore into a shot when I could do Juvenon for less than $1 a day, do something that's natural, that plugs in my brain with my gut and has them communicating so that you just don't eat so much. That's what it does. That's GLP-1 gold. That's what it is. That's the hormone that says, you know what? Stop eating there, fatty boba-laddie. You don't need any more. A lot of people, it doesn't fire. This helps it fire. It's not $1,000 a month. You don't need a prescription pad. You don't have to get blood work for it. Go to Juvenon. Go to bloodflow7.com/Wendy. 30% off. Everything in the store. Mm-hmm. One of the things you have to like about production crews is they understand.
Yeah, I had to tell them, I was like, okay, they're going to, before walking in, say, everybody's going to be able to hear you because we're in a commercial break. And it's like the whole show is literally live streamed. He's like, oh.
Right.
So I don't know if they were informed of that or not.
We'll make it happen, babes.
Yeah.
All right. Who have I forgotten so far? I'm super geeked about this lineup that we had this week. I get my tulip blooms, my blood flow, Ireland. That's it. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. One of the few benefits of living in the land before time, our section of it, is that you've got Ireland Contracting as a potential contractor at your house for a home exterior remodeling job. And when you have somebody that you trust, when you know somebody is a personal friend of mine that I really enjoy these people, and I just spent a ton of money on a roof, I didn't have a choice. I had to get it done. There was no more kicking the can down the road. Gary literally said to me, this is the time. Don't put it off anymore. He patched things for me multiple times. This was it. You got to do this. I trust that. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Windows, siding, skylights, roofing, soffit fascia, even gutters, downspouts, all of that. That's Ireland Contracting. And if you need an electrician, ask for Dan. Just be like, how you doing? Dan's great. He'll get back to you in 24 hours. It's one of the nice things to have somebody that you can trust. Add a call. That's it.
No, the light's off. It's white, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely whiter. But I mean, hold it up closer.
This is what you should all be doing,
it
too.
It still looks like, yeah. Oh, you're so fussy about that. Okay. Whatevs.
Wow, what are they doing?
Is that them?
No.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I don't know if you guys seen, if you've been watching. I don't even know what I just said. I just sounded like Joe Biden. What? I don't know if you've been following any of the live cameras that have given us some time lapses. We showed you the one yesterday of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool that's been redone. The big, what is it? What fight is it? What's going on, Barack? Why is this such a big deal?
UFC. That's Dana White.
Right. And so everybody and his brother wants to come. Who's going to be fighting in it? Do we know who the people are yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully, like maybe Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. That would be worth watching. That's pay-per-view there.
That's a ticket I would pay for. So they're sprucing up the Capitol. They're sprucing up Washington, D.C. for this grand celebration of America's 250th birthday. And of course, this has to happen. It's so disappointing. I can't imagine being so obsessed about resisting Trump, hating Trump, destroying Trump, taking down Trump, impeaching Trump. I mean, this is all that the Democrats are working on. Hopeful to take back the House so that they can get into another 2 years of endless hearings and impeachments of a president who loves America. Well, did you hear what was carved into the National Mall grass days before President Trump's birthday event? His birthday Sunday. The number is 8647. Happy birthday. Go out and kill the president. Honestly, who does this? In what world? Like people who do things like this, who openly call for the elimination of a sitting president, right? And burn into the grass those digits. That's not just a joke to you. That's a commitment. That's a very loud signal that you're one of those people who's not going to be saved. I'm sorry. The number's 8647, found carved into a section of grass on the National Mall yesterday, just days before those huge crowds are expected to gather in D.C. for a UFC event scheduled on President Donald Trump's birthday. Live webcam footage from the grass showed the numbers cut into a large patch of discolored grass east of the World War II memorial. East of the World War II memorial. Officials have not determined when the markings were made. Photographs of the National Mall taken on June 5th did not show the numbers. This is kind of interesting. Like, nobody really saw it. You couldn't really see it from ground level. But then on Thursday afternoon, it's interesting. The U.S. Army Golden Knights, they're obviously going to be performing. They're going to have some, they're going to jump out of the plane and come down, and they're going to land right there at the White House on Sunday. So they're like, all right, let's go up and do a trial run. And as they're parachuting in, they see what's being burned into the grass, 8647. Park police spokesperson said authorities have not determined what caused the grass damage, but they've collected samples for testing, blah, blah, blah. The Department of the Interior condemned the incident as deranged vandalism. Isn't so much, though, of what the left is all about. Do I know that's a Democrat who did that? No. I don't have evidence of that, but I can tell you I'm going to go against putting my money on a conservative. What is it about President Trump? Is it the 24-hour news cycle of 95 to 98% negative news coverage? Is it media outlets that demand we respect them and their storied pasts, that flushed their reputations down the toilet by selectively editing Donald Trump from January 6th to make it sound like he was encouraging people to go riot? Was it them trying to make Kamala Harris sound educated, believable, or even remotely presidential? But what is it? What is it that creeps into the mind of people who wake up and their day isn't about going out and doing something extraordinary or leaving their mark on their neighbors, doing something special to lift up somebody else? It's not to go out there and do the unthinkable and work harder and achieve more and push those bounds. No, their wake up is to go and destroy Donald Trump. That's baked into the fabric. They answer the battle cries online by Indivisible. Show up, we'll pay you. Just take these signs that we had instantly printed. Take these talking points and go stand at this corner. And we'll pay you for that. It's all manufactured. Do you think the person or the people who decided to drop whatever killed the grass on the National Mall into an 8.6 and a 4.7, calling for exactly what James Comey called for with that weird seashell pattern on the beach, right? They act as though they're stupid. They behave as though they're untouchable. And I'm here to tell you, I'm freaking tired of that. Aren't you? We got a great good news story coming up, you guys. It's a very sweet story. It's going to instill some hope in you that not all schools are ruining America's children. Plus, Graham Plattner's Nazi tattoo story, yeah, it just got a whole lot worse. Is that possible? Yeah, actually it is. It is. And I'll explain how next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Should I tell them that they can come in? Let's see. Did we do what we need to do? No, I did not do collagen peptides. I hope they stick around with me for a while. You know, collagen peptides are kind of a hard thing to sell, quote unquote, because it's one of those things, like, it's one thing if all of a sudden pain goes away, or all of a sudden you have mental clarity, or all of a sudden your hair starts getting volumized. Collagen isn't one of those things where you're like, oh my gosh, Sheila, look, right? It's one of those things that you have to do consistently for a period of time. I started doing research on collagen about 3 months ago. And I had some product from Native Path, and they had done some extra advertising with us, and then they dropped off. People come and go. It is the way it is. But I had more of the collagen at my house. So I started drinking it. And then I asked Brock, would you please drink this with me? It's one of those things that is flavorless. It's so innocuous, and it's affordable. It dissolves easily in anything. And if you do it every day, if you take a scoop in your drink or what have you every single day, the idea is the reduction of fine lines and wrinkles, the slowing down of the hands of time, the cushioning of the cartilage in your joints, bone strength and health, all of these things that are intimately connected to collagen. My brand, Get Native Path. Get Native Path. Native Path is the company. GetNativePath.com/Wendy is how you get it. Probably need to do this.
There you go.
Up to 45% off. Like literally, I got in touch with our gal who is the account manager for them. And I'm like, I'm loving these collagen peptides. She's like, really? What do you think? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to drink it until it's all gone. And I'm going to be able to gauge how I feel, how I look, and all of that. I told you it was primarily to get rid of the crepey skin on my arms that was starting. I'm like, no, 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 no. No, you didn't. And so I was trying to stop it. So I started drinking it. I love it. And I'm going to keep doing it because it's so important for us. GetNativePath.com/Wendy. Up to 45% off. I know we get good discounts. Really good discounts. It is tasty. Come on in. Here, I can get out of your way. How's your day going? Where are you from? Are you in Texas too?
No, I'm not watching.
Oh, nice. So you were brought in.
Here she goes. She's going to have a conversation with them. She's probably asking who they are, what they're about, how long they've been doing this.
Gosh.
It's the Wendy treatment or interrogation.
I know. No. It is muggy outside. All you have to do is look at my hair. All right, where are we going?
Huge.
That's rude.
That's
Brock.
a huge head of hair.
That's rude. So, Brock, would you jump out so he can see the parameters? Yeah. So come on in. Yeah, so you're right about to here. And I can move things around for you. So he's from Mount Washington.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Long
I
drive.
told you guys. Wendy was giving him the Wendy Bell interrogation treatment.
What do you mean?
You were asking about him.
Well, yeah, I'm interested in people.
Exactly. That's all I was saying.
People are interesting.
Maybe not him, but, people.
You're not.
I know I'm not. I go home and just work.
Oh my gosh. Honest to God. If that's your story, I will throat punch you and throw you down the stairs.
That's not very nice.
It is absolutely correct, though. I love how if
you
we're
know
talking,
what?
I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, working. And I'm like, really?
He'll get a shot of you. Hopefully he stays.
Why?
Singing Africa.
He's not interested in me singing. No, you're not. Shh.
See?
You're interested in my what? In my dog? See, I knew he would think that when he saw my hair.
Wait till he gets molested.
Murphy is a cute dog. He's just dumb.
He's going to molest them.
He's great. He will molest him. You're right. But
especially if he likes them.
But yeah, if he likes you, look out.
Yeah.
Now I can move other things if you want.
Hopefully he wore long pants.
When do you go back on?
In about 40 seconds, 30 seconds. What are we doing here? New post. Oh, yeah.
I don't do 12-ounce lifts. I go for the full pounders.
Did you just say a pounder?
Pounder.
Oh, my gosh. Brock is a total yinzer.
It's Friday.
So is he.
I think you've probably caught on to it, is this whole idea of disqualifying. There's certain behavior that should disqualify you from polite society. There's certain behavior that should disqualify you from serving in the nation's capital. There's certain kinds of behavior that should disqualify you from even thinking that you should run for office. Yeah, but all that Graham Plattner doesn't care about, neither do the Democrats, which is so freaking weird. Isn't it so weird when you hear one of their narratives unravel and everybody and his brother is like, wait a minute, weren't these the people who were all about Me Too? These folks who were all about get Brett Kavanaugh. You see, I'm going to tell you, Gorsuch. I'm going to tell you, Kavanaugh. Right? You guys know the story. This Graham Plattner guy is everything that's wrong with disqualifying candidates who we're supposed to hold our noses for and push across the finish line. And he already was pushed across the primary finish line in Maine, and it's kind of scary. So the New York Post pushes a story forward today. I gotta hear this. Graham Plattner cheated on his fiancée and bragged the Nazi tattoo was a reminder that U.S. was the evil bad guy. That's what a former lover of his tells the New York Post. Now, everything kind of hearsay until it's not, because this gal has text messages, right? So she's got some proof. This ain't good. But for the Democrats, remember, we do anything. We'll push anything. We'll get anybody across the finish line. Doesn't matter who they are. I don't know. I don't like that. Do you? Maine Senate candidate or nominee Graham Plattner kept his hideous Nazi tattoo to remind himself, quote, the U.S. was the evil bad guy overseas, according to an ex-girlfriend with whom he cheated on his fiancée in 2021. The left-wing streamer who spoke to the Post is the second woman to say that Plattner knew about the fascist origin of his skull and crossbones tattoo, despite his claims that he didn't realize it was a Third Reich symbol until, last fall. Last fall, I had no idea. What? Her assertions were backed up by texts reviewed by the Post that she'd sent to her mom in September of 2025, in which she blasted him for his Nazi tattoo, his small hoo-ha, and claims that he tarnished her reputation by using her to step out on his fiancé. Well, the woman also offered allegations that Plattner cheated on a second partner before his current wife, a now ex-fiancé he was engaged to around that time. Now, is this all disqualifying to you? It is to me. It's not to the Democrats. They knew damn well what Eric Swalwell was all about. They knew what Hunter Biden was doing. He was legit human trafficking prostitutes from Europe to have like 3-day benders at hotels with him. Do we act surprised that this guy is going to be okay for the Democrats to vote for and to get behind? As a person who's a leftist, this woman wrote, I immediately looked at him and asked him, is that tattoo? I think it is. And he told me he'll hold this wait forever bravado sob story about how it was, but he decided to keep it as a reminder that the United States was the evil bad guy overseas. Do you want a guy who served in the U.S. military, something happened to him, who thought the U.S. were the bad guys? You want that guy as a sitting United States senator who's going to be on committees making decisions, who clearly hates America? What? Better not take a peek at the Nazi tattoo on his chest, the woman wrote in another message to a pal. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. She also included a screenshot of an image of Plattner on a boat showing off oysters, dated June 15th, 2021, not far from his hometown, Belle Harbor, Maine. Plattner had told the woman someone in his military leadership had suggested that the whole crew get the skull and crossbones tattoo because he was a military history buff, the woman said. She said she met Plattner on Tinder and texted with him for months before dating him in 2021 when she moved to Maine for work. Can you imagine seeing that guy now all of a sudden climbing through all the highest echelons of suck in the Democratic Party to clinch the nomination as the Democrat candidate for Senate? What? Right? So what's even more wild is listening to these Democrat hacks, literally Jews on TV twisting themselves in knots to justify their support of this guy. Well, Me Too. Yeah, we're all about Me Too. His Me Too, it's kind of different. There are gradations, apparently, of actionable behavior if you're a man against a woman, right? And this woman, whose last name, well, her name is Jodi Kantor. She's of the New York Times. And she's sitting on a CNN panel yesterday. She's like, you know what? This case, it's really not a Me Too story. So, yeah, we don't really get that vibe. It's different than that. So, really, it's okay. This is how they sell it on television to their minions. Listen.
Well, let's talk about what they may or may not be willing to overlook. The accusations against Graham Plattner are not classic Me Too accusations. They're not about a boss and a young female employee being subjected to sexual advances. They were mostly made in the context of consensual relationships. There are these very sensational texts about sex. There are allegations from former girlfriends that are not, the way my colleagues reported them, were not like classic abuse allegations. They were mostly like, being his boyfriend gave me a view into him and I did not like what I saw. His character was scary. He had this Nazi tattoo, etc. There was one allegation of crossing a line physically, but I think that means that these are pretty different accusations than, say, the ones that President Trump faced. And of course, in the Access Hollywood tape, President Trump bragged about grabbing women against their will. And so I think it speaks to the kind of confusion of the long post-Me Too moment in which gender-related accusations get bundled together, but they're actually very different.
I mean, can you even get a load of that? That's absolutely mind-bending. That's not dissimilar to what somebody, look, this might sound like a stretch, but if you're going to make justifications and you're going to carve out detours for your guy, then you're probably somebody who thinks, medical assistance in dying is compassionate health care, right? Take this pill. You can't pay your rent. I know things are a little tough right now. I get it. Just kill yourself. I mean, it's cool. Nobody's looking. What? Every single time you're offered an option, which way will they go? Will they go where everybody in Realville is? Where things are still right and wrong, irrespective of skin color? Or are we going to choose the path of the best candidate with the best ideas? Or we're going to hold our nose for the guy that might kind of win because we're going to try to stick it to Trump? We don't care. Are we going to choose the path of the governor candidate who's responsible for literally losing almost 500,000 of the world's children? Are we gonna choose that path? Or are we gonna finally come together and be like, yo, I don't know where we've been, but it's the wrong path. No. They're on the elevator going south, ladies and gentlemen. And this whole Plattner thing is proof of it. I don't know about you. I don't know if I've needed it more. Good news today. He's taken us to northern New Jersey, where one high school's tradition, a mandatory hiking experience, teaches so much more. Love that. It's not hard to think outside the box. It's not hard to engage, particularly young men. I love it. I love good news. I love your bad jokes. We got them on tap, printed out, and ready to go. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I love that story. Thanks for finding it, Brock. It was
Someone sent it to me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll have to figure it out from now on. I want to give those people props. When I do it, I want to be able to say thank you.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, that'd be awesome. So how are you guys? What's up, Ray Carr? What's up, Rosebud and Megan? Hi, Raptor. Boston guy, I haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Nuke Hayes. So how do you guys love that my son tells Brock that he got possibly a new client? He doesn't even tell his mom.
Well, in fairness to Toolsy, he said, I know my mom doesn't like
getting texts during the show.
Aw.
He's like my only child who knows that.
Darla found us.
Darla Auto.
Yeah.
All right, Darla. See, I know you first and last name, babe.
Yeah, but aren't we supposed to protect the innocent?
She doesn't care. My girl doesn't care. She's sharing with us some good news. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Toolsy said, I want to make sure I don't misquote him.
Okay. Tell me everything.
Wendy doesn't like it when I text her during the show, so I'm texting you. Just landed another monthly marketing editing gig down here in Tampa.
I'm telling you.
I asked him, first off, I told him congrats.
That's awesome.
It's not easy to grow your own business.
No, and
says they're still planning the next 6 months, but bringing me in because my boss at boot camp, which is connections and everything, is on the board of this company.
Oh, so the new place that's going with him. Oh,
he said the lady was flirting with him too.
What?
I said, yeah, cougar. She knows what she wants.
Well, how old is she?
He didn't. He gave me a rough estimate
of 35.
Close, 38 to 40.
Wow, that's a cougar.
Yeah, it's a cougar.
Yeah.
I'm
I
6
said, months
you know
older
what?
than Joe. It's a little different than 12 years.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hey, they know what they want, Michael.
Wow. Okay.
Just saying. She's past the games. No more games.
Yes. Yes, and I'm sure her ovaries
He gave
have
me the
frizzled up.
company's name. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it. Oh my.
Good for him.
Yeah, I'm psyched. You know what? It's fun, and this is something like Bobby with golf. Michael knew he didn't want a 9-to-5 job. He knew he didn't want to sit in a cubicle. He didn't want to be behind a computer, and he didn't want to work for somebody. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and so we gave him an opportunity. I'm like, I don't have a social media presence. All my stuff has been hacked. Can you do what you do? In a year and a half, he's grown us to 300,000 people on 2 different platforms, which is huge. And that's without the benefit of having 300,000 plus people on Facebook after our account was hacked. Okay, so the deck has been stacked against us. It's been an uphill battle. Michael stepped in, did it every single day, and then had proof of concept to go show somebody else.
That's the
and
key.
He's like, this is what I've been doing. He doesn't have to say this is my mom. It's irrelevant that
he doesn't work for you. He works for me.
So, right. And that's kind of how it is, that he kind of answers to Brock and I pay the bill, but it all works
the way
out.
I like it.
But it all works out. Right. And now he can then say everybody and his brother wants exposure. Everybody wants people paying attention to their brand.
Yes, they do.
Everybody wants somebody to say something good about them and to get out the good word. And he's tapped into that. And I was like, all you need to do is have some
Be
success.
consistent.
Be consistent. And what do we have? We have 8 million people who've downloaded our show, on the podcast.
He doesn't have to tell him he's never going to get fired. That I will first.
Oh. To the Wendy Bell radio program. If you are a frequent flyer, this is our favorite time of the week. If you're new, oh boy, buckle up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just flew in from New York and boy, my arm's tired. I'm joking, of course. Anywho, welcome to the Comedy Club. Won't you give it up to Wendy and Brock for Bad Joke Friday?
So, as always, the first joke comes from our good friend, Dr. Richard Rafferty at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. And it goes like this. A pig walks into a bar and orders 10 beers. And after drinking all of them, the bartender asks if he needs to know where the bathroom is. And the pig replies, "No, I wee all the way home." That's so stupid.
That's what makes it funny.
I know.
I got a new pen that can write underwater.
Okay.
Yeah, it can write other words too.
Oh my gosh. A dying man called his 3 best friends to his bedside. His priest, his doctor, and his lawyer. And he told them, "I've sold everything I've owned except the suit I will be buried in. All my bills are settled, including funeral, doctors, and hospital. I ended up with $3 million and divided it into 3 piles of cash. They were put into 3 briefcases by my bed. Well, I say you can't take it with you, but I'm going to. I have no family. And I want each of you to take a briefcase, place it in the coffin with me, if you would, after I'm dead." Well, all agreed to, and the man died the next day. After the funeral, the 3 stopped at a bar to have a drink to their departed friend. And the priest said, usually I hear confessions, but I have one to make. I put an empty case in that coffin. I know, right? The church needed a lot of repairs and some of the flock were in dire need. The doctor then admitted to placing an empty case in the coffin also. I donated the money to the hospital. They're building this new wing. They're going to name it for our buddy and doing research, curing cancer, all that. The lawyer drew back and said, "I am shocked. You are professionals, and you gave a dying man your promise to fulfill his final wish. Shame on both of you." The priest and the doctor, with hushed voices, asked, "You mean to say that you put that $1 million in the coffin?" The lawyer replied, "My check was good for every cent of it." I don't know if it was worth it, but we'll see.
Oh,
I tried.
Why did the computer show up late to work?
Why?
It had a hard drive.
Bruce Lee had a brother who was a vegetarian. You know what his name was? Broccoli.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Every weekend I say to myself, "John, you need to stop drinking beer."
Oh.
Luckily, my name isn't John.
Oh, my gosh. A movie theater was robbed of $1,000 last night. The thieves stole a large popcorn, a combo meal, and a box of milk duds.
That's about how much it cost. A wealthy, well-dressed man sees a beautiful woman on the street. He approaches her and conversation goes as following. "Hello, you're so beautiful. Will you have sex with me for $1 million?" Wow. That's bold. Surprised. She thinks for a few seconds, smiles, says, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Will you have sex with me for $10?
Wow.
She gasped in anger and he says, "No, what kind of girl do you think I am?" He responds with, "That's already been established. Now it's just a matter of price."
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. You're such a man. Just released my own fragrance. No one in the car seemed to like it.
The Bernie Sanders drinking game.
Uh-oh.
Whenever Bernie talks about free stuff, chug someone else's beer.
There's it. That's exactly right. As I got off the elevator, the operator said, "Have a good day, son." I said, don't call me son. You're not my dad. He replied, maybe not, but I did bring you up.
Oh, God.
I know.
Husband says, I want you to have this bracelet. It was my grandmother's.
Oh,
The wife says, why does it say do not resuscitate?
oh my goodness. What kind of pants does a ghost hunter wear? Well, just a pair of normal jeans.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
That was horrible.
It was bad.
How are birthdays like margaritas? The more you have, the less you care.
A woman says to a man, what do you say when a man falls off of a boat? Man says, you say man overboard. And she says, well, what do you say when a woman falls off a boat? Man says, full steam ahead.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's terrible.
Do you know why women prefer diamonds from the ground over lab-grown diamonds?
Huh.
They prefer digging up small stuff from the past and making it a big deal out of it.
A friend of mine was kidnapped by a group of mimes. They did unspeakable things to him. I know. Sorry. Really? I know. It's usually better than that, but I love you guys. Thanks for being a part of the program. Let's do it again on Monday, shall we? Take care. Love you guys. Peace. There you go. Now you're
Like digging up small things and making a big deal
It's hot as
about
steak
them.
in here, isn't it? Oof.
That
You
was
poor
funny.
guy. You're melting. No, I do this.